Chapter 1308. The sound of the river flowing east was like the melody of a guzheng. Sometimes it was slow and sometimes it was passionate. It was intoxicating and stirring. The river was like a dragon. The creatures that could make a living in the river were all blessed by the heavens. There were countless treasures in the river. Over countless years, many creatures found the treasures in the river and rose to power. The black water race and the white water race were creatures that looked the same except for the color of their skin. They were natural enemies. Originally, the two races were equal in strength. However, as the black water race suddenly rose to power, the balance between the two races was broken. The white water race was bullied. They had no choice but to seek help from the Hung Mountain sect and form an alliance with them. To put it nicely, they were allies. To put it bluntly, they were subordinates of the Hung Mountain sect. Only with the help of the Hung Mountain sect could they withstand the pressure from the black water race. The people of the Hung Mountain sect knew the situation of the white water race. They could have supported the white water race to deal with the black water race. However, they didn't do so. If they worked together to deal with the black water race, would the white water race still need their help? This time, Bai Luoyun's sudden and powerful return shocked the people of the Hung Mountain sect who were guarding the young master by race. In the absence of saints, the small saints of the white water race couldn't fight against the black water race. They would usually ask for help from the Hung Mountain sect. This time, there was no need for their help. The deacons and disciples of the Hung Mountain sect who were stationed here all cultivated water mystic chi. There weren't many of them, only about 100. In fact, there were only a dozen of them who were small saints. However, they were enough to pressure the black water race. Commander Zhao, since when did the white water race have such a powerful figure? Could it be their hidden strength? Someone from the Hung Mountain sect asked the middle-aged man who was leading the group. The middle-aged man who was called Commander Zhao narrowed his eyes and replied, "He should have just returned from training outside. He's not the white water race that we usually interact with. The white water race rarely leaves the river to train. Who would come back from the outside? I'm not sure. The opponent is very powerful. Let's wait and see. I feel like that guy is a saint." Bai Luoyun had followed Yang Wu to the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. Although he hadn't been able to participate in the battle between the dragons and the phoenixes, he had seen many top-notch prodigies. Thus, he had long been suppressing a desire to improve himself. Even if he couldn't catch up to his master, he couldn't drag him down. Therefore, after receiving the second-grade immortal liquid and various resources from Yang Wu, his physique had been cleansed and tempered. His innate talent had become stronger, and his cultivation speed was not inferior to the top geniuses. In just 2 to 3 years, he had risen from the heavenly fish realm to the peak minor saint realm. It could be said that he had worked hard. The Black Water Tribe's 300 people were beaten to a pulp by Bai Luoyun. None of them could withstand a single blow. When Bai Luoyun displayed his powerful battle prowess, Bai Wuming did not hesitate and led the clansmen around him to counterattack. The battle quickly came to an end. More than 200 Black Water Tribesmen had died, which was the highest number of deaths in recent years. The White Water Tribe had obtained victory, and they cheered heartily. This was a long-awaited victory. "Brother, is it really you?" Bai Wuming looked at Bai Luoyun, whose bearing had become completely different, and asked. All along, Bai Luoyun's strength had been steadily suppressing Bai Luoyun. After all, he was a few years older than Bai Luoyun. But now, Bai Luoyun's strength had surpassed him by so much. It was really hard to believe that this person was his younger brother. Bai Luoyun smiled and replied, "Brother, if it's not me, who else can it be? Seventh uncle and everyone, how are you? I'm back." Ever since he left with Yang Wu, he had been fantasizing about the day he returned with glory. Now it had finally come true. "Good boy, how did your strength become so powerful?" Bai Wuming punched Bai Luoyun's body and asked. "Let's talk about this when we return to the tribe. I'm afraid that those bastards of the Blackwater tribe won't give up and will call the saints out. That's right. Let's go back to the tribe. When Bai Luoyun returned to the tribe to reunite with the tribe, Yang Wu and White-Hair She-Devil were leisurely heading towards the Hung Mountain sect. On the way, Yang Wu had a rare private chat with White-Hair She-Devil. Yunshi, do you think Luoyun will come out after returning to the tribe this time? Does my lord want him to come out or not? I'm the one asking you first. If my lord wants him to come out, he will naturally come out. If my lord wants him to stay, he will naturally stay. You say it as if I'm very domineering. My lord is not domineering. You just have the hearts of the people. Everyone is willing to work for you and want to follow by your side. Moreover, you are now the youngest divine apothecary in history. As long as he is not a fool, he will naturally know what to choose. Am I really as good as you say? You are the best, Lord. White-Hair She-Devil looked at him with a serious expression. That pair of beautiful eyes could easily make people fall into them and find it hard to extricate themselves. White-Hair She-Devil's beauty was moving. She was not inferior to Meng Bingxue or Shu Yujun. It was just that her silver hair usually covered most of her face. Yang Wu felt a bit embarrassed being looked at like this. He rubbed his face and said, "All right, I admit that I am a bit good. However, I am not as good as you say." My lord, after seeing Miss Shu, what are your plans? Are you going to marry her? Now is not the time to talk about marriage. The Xing family has not been dealt with yet. I'm afraid that the people of Hing Mountain will not think this way. Right now my lord is in high demand. If they can establish a relationship with you, then they will naturally establish a relationship with you. Who knows what kind of woman will appear at my lord's side in the future? You are wrongly accusing me. You are often by my side. It's not like you don't know this lord's character. Am I the kind of person who yearns for love? That's right. Is my lord still a man? I am so beautiful, why don't you eat me? I won't resist or ask for any status. Hung Mountain was also known as the Southern Peak. The terrain here was extremely good. It was considered a paradise, and the profound energy of heaven and earth here was much thicker than in other places. Yang Wu was in a very good mood as he returned to this place. After all, this was the place where he had risen to prominence. When Yang Wu arrived at the gates of Hung Mountain, news of his arrival instantly spread throughout the Hung Mountain sect. Godly apothecary Yang Wu has come. Is this true? He really came to our Hung Mountain sect? I just knew that godly apothecary Yang Wu would return to our Hung Mountain one day. His first stop after coming from the mortal world was our Hung Mountain. You think too much. If it weren't for the first miss, do you think he would have come to our Hung Mountain? No matter how great a hero is, he cannot escape the charms of a beauty. The upper echelons of the Hung Mountain sect were all alarmed. Not only did their sect master, Shu Yuqing, and a group of elders rush out to welcome Yang Wu, even the grand enforcers were unable to restrain themselves and went out together to welcome him. The Hung Mountain sect's upper echelons moved out in a grandiose manner. The entire sect was in an uproar. Today, Yang Wu's status was completely different. He could be compared to any heaven-span old monster. No one dared to slight him. When Yang Wu saw the people of the Hung Mountain sect come out to welcome him, he couldn't help but mutter to himself, "There's no need to mobilize so many people. Master, you are a godly apothecary. This kind of welcome is not excessive. I once heard that there was a sect that waited 7 days and 7 nights in front of their gates to welcome a godly apothecary without daring to complain," the white-haired demoness said from the side. "That's too much," Yang Wu replied. "Ha, welcome home, son-in-law." Shu Yuqing laughed heartily. His voice could be heard from far away. With his shout, everyone followed suit and shouted, "Welcome home, son-in-law." Who in the sect didn't know that Shu Yujun had been with Yang Wu for a long time, but as for what their relationship was, not many people knew. They only knew that the sect had formed an alliance with the Yang family, and that their relationship was quite good. Yang Wu was given a big fright. He and Shu Yujun hadn't even bowed to heaven and earth yet. This shout was just like the white-haired demoness said, solidifying their relationship. After all, he couldn't refute it. If he did, then where would Shu Yujun's face be? Where would the Heng Mountain sect's face be? Father-in-law, you've scared your son-in-law's heart out. Yang Wu could only brace himself and reply. When they were in the Yang family, they only called him that in private. Now that he said it, their relationship was solidified. Haha, good son-in-law. You are a godly apothecary. How could your courage be so small? Look at the grand enforcers and a group of holy elders coming out to welcome you. Your face is even greater than mine, the sect master. Shu Yuqing said with incomparable pride. Where could they find a son-in-law like Yang Wu? The group of holy elders behind him were indeed envious. Why didn't their granddaughters have this kind of fortune? Yang Wu first greeted the grand enforcers, and then cupped his hands towards the holy elders before following them into the sect. The grand enforcers of Heng Mountain, Ning Zhoujing, revealed a kind expression and said, Godly apothecary Yang Wu, you must properly stay in Heng Mountain for a while this time. You should also take care of the matter between you and Yujun. We are the sons and daughters of the Jianghu, so we don't need to care about those customs, right? Yang Wu replied. He didn't want to make a big deal out of the wedding. He still wanted to go to the Purple Firmament Hall to bring back Yu. That's right, Grand Enforcers. The sons and daughters of the Jianghu don't need to care about this. In any case, Yang Wu is already my good son-in-law. I'm not afraid that he'll run away, Shu Yuqing replied. I have the final say in this matter. We can't let Yujun suffer. I watched her grow up. Marriage is such a big matter, so we naturally have to take care of it properly, the Grand Enforcer said seriously. All right, then we'll take care of it. I'll order people to invite guests from all over the place later, Shu Yuqing compromised. He then asked, Who are we going to invite this time? We definitely have to invite people from the Five Peaks. Should we invite others like the Hall of Immortality, Kunlun, Wudong, and the Tang sect as well? Since we're going to invite them, of course we'll invite them all. Even if they don't come, they won't lack our betrothal gifts, right? That's true. Then I'll order the Master of Ceremonies to quickly write the invitations. I reckon that this trip will cost a lot of money. This time, we're going to use the grandest way to hold the wedding. We don't need to be afraid of spending any money. You can't trap a wolf without risking a child. Yang Wu listened to them from the side and was instantly thrown into disarray. Chapter 1309. Purple Qi rose from the Heng Mountain sect, spirit cranes flew, auspicious beasts cried, flowers bloomed, and drums shook the sky. They had not been so lively in a long time. Even if their 5 mountain sect's leader came, they would not have such a grand welcome. Yang Wu felt flattered. After all, he had reached the heavens in a single step and had not fully adapted to the noble role of a divine apothecary. With his current status, no matter where he went, he would receive such a grand welcome. Moreover, he had such a close relationship with the Heng Mountain sect. After Yang Wu entered the sect, Shu Yujun also appeared. Today, she had specially dressed herself up. With light makeup, her eyebrows were curved, and her skin was smooth and creamy. Her beautiful figure was accentuated by the light blue gauze. She was shy, and she lacked a bit of heroic spirit. However, she had a rare charm that was rarely seen in the past, causing people's eyes to light up. When Yang Wu saw her, he was also slightly dazed. He and Shu Yujun had known each other for 8 years, and the two had gone through trials and tribulations together. They were familiar with each other, but this was definitely the first time they had dressed up like this. Yang Wu could not help but say, Yujun, you are so beautiful. Shu Yujun had always been heroic, and had the heroic spirit of a woman who was not inferior to men. But after hearing Yang Wu's praise, her face was still like a ripe tomato, bright red and attractive. However, Yang Wu's next sentence instantly destroyed all the atmosphere. You forgot to change your shoes, Yang Wu said again. Shu Yujun looked down at her feet. It was a pair of silver water-treading boots that she usually wore. These boots were most suitable for her usual martial attire, but with the muslin dress she was wearing now, it did not match at all. I hate you. Shu Yujun stomped her feet, shouted, and dashed away. Yang Wu scratched his head, his face full of confusion. What's going on? Shu Yuqing walked over and patted Yang Wu's shoulder. Son-in-law, if you didn't have some ability, I'm afraid you'd be a bachelor for the rest of your life. The people behind him nodded in agreement with their sect leader's words. Those who said such things to ruin the atmosphere were destined to be lonely. Yang Wu thought about Shu Yuqing's words and smiled. He patted his face and said, being honest is also a sin. Shu Yujun held a banquet to entertain Yang Wu and white-haired demoness. Shu Yujun did not appear again. It seemed like she was really angry. After the banquet, Wang Yuyang brought Yang Wu to a courtyard, saying that it was a place he had prepared for him to rest. White-haired demoness wanted to follow, but was separated. When they arrived at a quiet and secluded courtyard, Wang Yuyang smiled and said, Son-in-law, you can go in by yourself. I won't send you off. This is Rain Lord's residence? Yang Wu was not stupid. He saw that this courtyard was more elegant than other places. It was not something an ordinary person could have. Wang Yuyang made a smart gesture towards Yang Wu, then left with a smile. Yang Wu bitterly smiled, but still pushed open the courtyard door and walked in. In the courtyard there were a few spirit trees that were not very tall. Under the trees there were stone tables and chairs. Shu Yujun had already changed her clothes and returned to her original valiant appearance. Her temperament was very similar to Wan Lanxin's, but she was more straightforward. She was like this to the people around her, while Wan Lanxin was only forthright to the people she was familiar with. She was very cold to the people she did not know. Yang Wu quickly walked over and apologized. Rain Lord, I'm sorry. I just spoke without thinking, please don't take offense. Shu Yujun did not reply. Her back was still facing him, as if she was still very angry. Looks like she's really angry, Yang Wu secretly thought in his heart. He walked to her side and hugged her in his arms, saying affectionately, Rain Lord, marry me. Okay, you said it. If you don't marry me, I'll castrate you. Shu Yujun turned around and replied with incomparable joy. Can you bear to castrate me? Yang Wu asked back. Wait until I leave behind your bloodline, then you'll see if I dare. Yo, you dare to be fierce in front of your husband. Do you think your husband is too easy to talk to and can't do anything to you? You do it. Just as Shu Yujun finished speaking, Yang Wu's mouth immediately covered hers. His hand directly grabbed her breasts, and she immediately fell into his hands. She had always been the one who crudely pursued Yang Wu and slowly won his heart. However, Yang Wu had always been polite to her and had never done anything excessive. He had never shown her the intimacy that a male and female cultivator should have. Now that he had suddenly taken over her, her heart was filled. She responded passionately and was not shy at all. Even if her movements were clumsy, she still greedily enjoyed this moment. Sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. It's okay, let's slow down a bit. Don't be anxious. Who's anxious? You bad guy, you're really bad. This isn't called bad, this is called love. Big bad guy, I didn't know you were so. Woo, after an unknown amount of time, the two finally separated. Their clothes were extremely messy, as if they had gone through a great battle. The man was flushed with success, while the woman's face was filled with shyness. Sit here first, I'll call someone to prepare some refreshment. Shu Yujun said and prepared to leave. Unexpectedly, she was pulled into Yang Wu's embrace again and said, This isn't the Yujun I know. You've become so shy. Shu Yujun pounded Yang Wu's chest and said, I'm not a casual woman. That's right, she was a straightforward woman, But this was the first time she had seen such intimacy between a man and a woman, so her face was naturally thin. Of course I know. Let's have a good chat. I don't want others to disturb us. And then let's chat. Now that you've become a divine alchemist, you must be proud, right? What can I be proud of? Everything is within my expectations. That's true. You're already very outstanding, and now that you've become a divine alchemist, I feel that I'm not worthy of you. Shu Yujun said with a trace of worry. The more outstanding Yang Wu was, the greater the pressure she was under. Originally, Yang Wu had a few entangled women by his side, and all of them were not inferior to her, and were even more outstanding than her. Her heart was not at ease, afraid that the gap between her and Yang Wu would grow bigger and bigger, and in the end, the distance between Yang Wu and her would slowly grow further and further. Fool, don't think too much. Since you've followed me, I'll make you stronger and stronger, Yang Wu said with certainty. After pausing for a moment, he continued, now that you've entered the Star Rune realm, you're not inferior to others. Don't be in a hurry to raise your realm, continue to build your foundation, and your fighting strength will be even stronger. Yang Wu and Shu Yujun talked about cultivation for a while, and Shu Yujun said with dissatisfaction, let's talk about this when we have time. I don't want to talk about this now, I just want to know how you're going to arrange our matters. Our matters? Yang Wu asked back. It's impossible for you to abandon your women and me, so you have to think of a plan that satisfies both sides. Once the news of you marrying me spreads out, I'm afraid you won't be able to explain it. Yujun, I'm sorry, but don't worry, I won't let you down. Apart from coming to see you, I've also taken over the Demon Taming Hall. I want to establish my own strength, and I hope you can help me. A good man should establish his own achievements. Of course, I'll support you in this matter. But now that you're the Yang clan's patriarch, won't there be conflicts if you establish your own power? Don't worry about this, the Yang clan belongs to the clansmen, and my own power belongs to me. The two of them discussed about establishing their own power, and unknowingly, the sky turned dark. The two of them also returned to their room from the courtyard. The two of them stuck together, neither of them willing to leave the other. Marshal, where are you putting your hands? Hee, I'm helping you rub them, to soothe your body and mind. You're a big baddie, take me tonight, I hope you won't let me down in this life. From today onwards, you're my Yang Wu's woman. Outside, the moon that had just climbed out of the clouds quietly retreated back into the black clouds. The crickets in the courtyard also quietly left the house, afraid of hearing some shameful sounds, making it difficult for them to fall asleep. The sun gradually rose from the horizon, and thousands of golden rays sprinkled down. The boundless earth was filled with dense vitality. In an ancient land of the war race, there was a yellow sand desert. In this place, the sun's rays were even more intense, and the yellow earth was sunburned to the point of cracking. Ordinary people would not be able to endure this kind of scorching and dry place. Who would have thought that this was the place where the Ho clan lived? The place where they lived was built on the yellow slope, and it was located at a lower elevation with less sunlight. The Ho clan's important place was an underground city, and it was also the most famous underground city in the transcendent world. The people who lived here were all from the Ho clan, and there were no outsiders. Outsiders were not allowed to live or stay in the underground city, and only the places outside the city were places where outsiders could stay. The Ho clan was xenophobic. This was something that everyone in the transcendent world knew. In the Ho clan's land, there was a handsome man who was currently roaring at a beautiful woman. I'll give you one more chance to speak. Whose child is it that you're pregnant with? Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. This man was wearing a noble yellow armor, and he had a dragon-shaped golden headband on his head, giving off a noble aura. That peerless beauty was obviously pregnant, and her belly was so big that it was obvious. Whose child it is has nothing to do with you, in short, it's not yours. The beautiful woman replied. As soon as she replied, the man gave her a hard slap. knocking her to the ground. Bitch, you bitch, when you returned to the clan more than a year ago, you were already not a virgin. What did you do after you went to the battle world? Was it because of that bastard royal uncle, so you took the opportunity to kill him? The beautiful woman looked at the crazy man and did not speak. She just covered her belly to prevent the child from being affected. She had been pregnant for more than 10 months, but a year and a half. As a saint, she had the ability to raise the child in her belly for a long time. Otherwise, the child would have been born long ago. Many times she wanted to kill the child, but in the end she kept it. Sister, don't you know that I love you? I want to marry you, and now you're rejecting me with a big belly. Do you really think I don't dare to kill you? If you have the ability, then kill me. The child's father will not let you go. Haha, then quickly tell me who the child's father is, and I'll let your family reunite on the road to the Netherworld. The child's father is Yang Wu, who has just become a divine pharmacist. Chapter 13:10. Under Shu Yujun's strong request, her marriage with Yang Wu was temporarily postponed. The reason was that she wasn't ready yet. Moreover, she hadn't obtained the approval of Yang Wu's parents, so she couldn't rashly hold the wedding. However, she and Yang Wu first performed the wedding ceremony at Mount Heng. This could be considered as reassuring Shu Yuqing and the other higher-ups of Mount Heng. Shu Yuqing forced them to get married in order to tie down Yang Wu. If Yang Wu didn't want Shu Yujun, then her efforts over the years would be wasted. Before the wedding ceremony, Yang Wu still had to obediently give Shu Yuqing a betrothal gift. He wasn't stingy. The betrothal gift included Dragon Phoenix Pill, Heartless Pill, and other divine-grade pills. There were also second-grade immortal liquids, such as Thunder God Elixir. The value of these divine liquids was very high. It could definitely help Mount Heng to produce several amazing characters. Originally, Shu Yuqing was very dissatisfied with Shu Yujun's decision to keep a low profile. However, after receiving the betrothal gift, this matter was resolved. Before this, their supreme protector had already obtained a Jade Glory Pill from the Yang clan. Now, they also received such a generous betrothal gift from Yang Wu. They should be satisfied. Moreover, as long as they had enough ingredients, Yang Wu could even refine pills for them. After resolving this matter, Yang Wu, Shu Yujun, and White-Hair Demoness went to the shore of the Yangtze River and directly went to the White Water Clan. The White Water Clan's patriarch and elder Sheng led a group to welcome Yang Wu, Shu Yujun, and White-Hair Demoness. Yang Wu didn't put on any airs. He brought Shu Yujun to the White Water Clan and received a grand reception. The members of the White Water tribe knew about Yang Wu's identity. He was Bai Luoyun's master. Bai Luoyun had followed him for 8 years and had already reached the peak minor saint realm. He was truly worthy of being called a divine alchemist. For Luoyun to be able to receive the care of Lord Yang Wu is not only his glory, but also the glory of the White Water Clan. On behalf of all the clansmen, I would like to express my gratitude to Lord Yang Wu. The White Water Clan leader knelt before Yang Wu. There's no need for that. Yang Wu gently lifted the White Water Clan's patriarch up, preventing him from kneeling. Here, I announce to all the clansmen that I have appointed Luo Yun as the young clan leader. Do any of the clan elders have any objections? The White Water Clan leader took the opportunity to express his stance. How could these elders have any objections? Bai Luoyun's strength was enough, and he also had such a strong backing. Who could compete with him? When the princes of the White Water Clan heard this, their expressions became unnatural. The position of the young clan leader was extremely important. It meant that Bai Luoyun would be the clan leader in the future. Yang Wu and Shu Yujun didn't say anything. They weren't from the White Water Clan, so they didn't want to interfere with their affairs. In fact, this patriarch was too good at seizing opportunities. He took advantage of Yang Wu's presence to express his stance. He hoped that Yang Wu would treat the White Water Clan better through his relationship with Bai Luoyun. Only then would they be able to take the opportunity to grow stronger and suppress the Blackwater clan. Bai Luoyun stood up and said, "Patriarch, please take back your words. I still want to follow my master. I won't stay in the clan. It's better to leave the position of the young clan leader to my other brothers." After Bai Luoyun had gone on a trip with Yang Wu, his horizons had been broadened. He did not want to be confined to the White Water clan's territory. That kind of world was too small. He wanted to continue following by his master's side and see the glory of the world. Only then would he become even stronger. "Luoyun, you can't act out of loyalty. All the elders have agreed. Even if you become the junior patriarch, it won't stop you from following Lord Yang Wu. You can inherit the patriarch's position when you return," the White Water patriarch replied. "Patriarch, listen to me. I'll follow my master for the rest of my life. When I become a saint, I can just become a clan guardian elder. I'm absolutely unwilling to accept the position of young clan leader." "Patriarch, please reconsider," Bai Luoyun said seriously again. At this time, a respected elder of the White Water clan said, "Let's do as Luoyun says. Our White Water clan's land is still too small. Only by following Lord Yang Wu can he come into contact with the wider world and become stronger. In the future, as long as he has time, it'll be enough for him to come back and visit from time to time." This elder of the White Water clan was still quite insightful. In the end, the White Water clan leader could only withdraw his appointment. Yang Wu didn't express his opinion from beginning to end. The White Water clan members looked at him from time to time, as if hoping that he would say something. Yang Wu did as they wished and said, "Lord Yu, you should interact more with Luoyun's clan in the future." Shu Yujun nodded and said, "We've always helped each other. In the future, we'll go even further." "Thank you, Lord Yang Wu. Thank you, Miss Shu." The young clan leader was overjoyed. Each of their words determined the balance between the White Water clan and the Blackwater clan. For a long time in the future, the Blackwater clan would be suppressed by the White Water clan. It would be difficult for them to cause any big waves. Yang Wu, Shu Yujun, and the white-haired demoness didn't stay here for long. They headed towards the Yangtze River. Yang Wu had the monster taming token, so it was easy for him to find the location of the monster taming hall. This time, after he entered the Yangtze River with Shu Yujun, he activated the monster taming token and was immediately teleported to the monster taming hall. The two of them returned to the monster taming hall once again. They were filled with emotion. It was because of the monster taming hall that they met and came to this day. The Monster Taming Hall is only one of the halls of the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Palace used to be so powerful. Shu Yujun sighed. Yang Wu nodded and said, "It was indeed very powerful." He quickly walked into the hall. He had already become the master of this place. All the restrictions here didn't exist to him. He opened the secret room behind the hall and saw many instruments of torture arranged here. There were also many saint-level demon corpses. The stone flood dragon carriage was still there. Yang Wu put all these things away. There was no need to leave them here. He planned to move the monster taming hall directly to the medicine god hall and return it to the heavenly palace in the future. In fact, the monster taming hall was also a mobile palace. As long as one had the ability to reach the heavens, one could activate it. Now, Yang Wu already had this ability. "Yujun, why don't you cultivate with me from now on? Let's try for the Martial Sage Conference together," Yang Wu said to Shu Yujun. Shu Yujun shook her head and said, "The 5 Great Mountains tournament is about to begin. I can't cultivate with you. I have to participate in the tournament." "How is the tournament going to be held?" Yang Wu asked. "Each sect will send their strongest people to fight. The person with the most powerful sword skills in each realm will be determined. The sect with the most comprehensive strength will be the leader of the 5 Great Mountains," Shu Yujun replied. "You are competing in sword skills? Our 5 Great Mountains sect is also known as the 5 Great Mountains Sword sect. Of course, we are competing in sword skills. The stronger one is, the more powerful their sword skills will be. Our Hung Mountain and Hung Mountain have always been at the bottom. This time we have to do our best. Moreover, this time, the Song Mountain sect has the ambition to annex the other sections. If we don't participate, it will give them a chance to attack us. It is said that the 5 Great Mountains sect are united. Who knew that you would have internal friction? Yes, so I will stay in the sect to cultivate. There is a more suitable place for me to cultivate. You don't have to worry. Alright, you can make the decision. Yang Wu did not force Shu Yujun. He believed that Shu Yujun had the ability to deal with all this. Moreover, he would not leave her alone. He decided to make another batch of body-tempering medicinal liquid for her. He would also give her a drop of immortal liquid to help her improve quickly. With this in mind, Yang Wu decided to stay in the monster taming hall to refine the medicinal liquid for her. He also imparted his cultivation experience and techniques to her and the white-haired demoness. He also asked the two of them to tell him the mystic formulas they were cultivating. He would perfect and improve their mystic formulas. Shu Yujun trusted Yang Wu completely. She did not guard against him or hide anything from him. She told Yang Wu the secret of Mount Heng that would not be divulged to outsiders. The Southern Mountain Sword Scripture was a heavenly level mystic formula. It had a total of 13 levels. Each level was harder to cultivate than the last. Only sword practitioners could cultivate it. Normally, Mount Heng sect disciples would only have the first 10 levels of the sword scripture. Shu Yujun was the daughter of the sect leader, so she had the complete scripture. After Yang Wu obtained the Southern Mountain Sword Scripture, he immediately used the Supreme 9 Mystic Formula to deduce it. Soon, he discovered that this sword scripture was not complete. It was missing a lot. And this time, he was not able to supplement it and was stuck. This was the first time something like this had happened. Southern Mountain Sword Scripture. Could it be that there are other complete sword scriptures? Yang Wu was puzzled. He then asked Shu Yujun, "Does this Southern Mountain Sword Scripture have other similar sword scripture chants?" There are many sword scripture chants, but there are very few that can compare to the Southern Mountain Sword Scripture. Why do you ask? Shu Yujun was puzzled. This sword scripture is missing a lot and is not complete. Yang Wu said with certainty. Impossible. Our Southern Mountain Sword Scripture has been cultivated by countless generations of people without any problems. How could it be incomplete? Then has your Mount Heng ever had an existence that surpassed the Jade Moon realm? No. Who in the transcendent realm can break through to that step? I won't discuss this with you for now. Think about it some more. Yunqi, tell me the mystic formula you cultivate. White-haired demoness hesitated for a moment before passing the chant to Yang Wu. She did not say the name of the profound formula, as if she was afraid of something. Yang Wu did not think too much about it. After receiving the chant from white-haired demoness, he quickly completed the cultivation method. He said in shock, Yunqi, the origin of your cultivation method is not simple. It surpasses the Jade Moon realm. Really? White-haired demoness said in shock. If I didn't fix it, you would only be able to cultivate up to the Jade Moon realm at most. Now that I've fixed it, you can cultivate up to the legendary realm. Listen carefully. Yang Wu replied and passed on the mnemonic chant to white-haired demoness. After white-haired demoness received the chant, she immediately began cultivating it. She quickly discovered that her large circulation speed was several dozen times faster than before. She could not help but cry out in shock. The mystic formula has really leveled up. Lord, you're too powerful. Yunqi, you said that husband has leveled up the mystic formula you're cultivating? Shu Yujun asked from the side. White-haired demoness nodded heavily and said, That's right. I just tried to circulate the mystic formula. The circulation of the mystic qi is much faster and smoother. There is no sluggishness at all. It's much more complete than before. How is that possible? Nothing is impossible. Lord Rain, your Southern Mountain sword scripture is indeed a complete sword scripture. However, I feel that it is only a part of a higher-level sword scripture. I need other chance to complete it. Chapter 13:11. The Southern Mountains Sword Manual had always been the inheritance of the Mount Hing sect. It was the foundation of their cultivation and also the foundation that helped them become a first-rate power. It had long been called one of the top 10 sword manuals. Other than the other sword manuals of the Five Mountains sect, there were also limited sword arts from Wudong and Shu Mountain that could be compared to it. How could Yang Wu be so sure that this was only an incomplete sword manual? The other chance could not be derived from the Regal 9 Profound Mantra, so how could he be so sure that it was incomplete? Yang Wu naturally had his reasons. The Regal 9 Profound Mantra could not be derived, but it gave a definite indication that the Southern Mountains Sword Manual was incomplete. Yang Wu had enough confidence in the Regal 9 Profound Mantra, which was why he was so sure. Currently, the profound mantras that he could not fuse were the Battle Blood Immortal Mantra, Planting Immortal Mantra, and the Heaven Profound Mantra. He was sure that the 3 profound mantras were too high level and the Regal 9 Profound Mantra was not complete, so he could not fuse them. Once the Regal 9 Profound Mantra was upgraded, he would definitely be able to fuse them. The Regal 9 Profound Mantra was called the strongest immortal mantra by Little Hay. Yang Wu also believed that Little Hay was right. Shu Yujun had absolute trust in Yang Wu and knew that he would not speak nonsense. She pondered for a moment and said, I once read some records in the sect. The sword scriptures of our 5 mountain sects all have the same root and belong to the inheritance of the 5 divine swords. The 5 divine swords were obtained by the 5 ancestors and they each took charge of the east, south, west, north, and central 5 mountain sects, forming the current 5 mountain sects. I always thought that this was fake, but now I feel that it might be true. Perhaps it is like what husband said, the 5 mountain sword scriptures combined into one, perhaps it is the complete sword scripture. Yang Wu raised his eyebrows and asked, Then do you know the chance of the 5 mountains sword manual? Shu Yujun shook her head and said, The sword manuals of the various sects are all secrets. How would I know? After pausing for a moment, she said, Father might know some of the other 4 mountains' foundational chants. Would that be useful? Yang Wu was overjoyed. It must be useful. Let's go back and ask father-in-law. What about the beast taming hall? Shu Yujun asked. Let it stay here for the time being. When I return, I'll take it with me, Yang Wu replied. Now that everything in the demon taming hall had been taken away by him, all that was left was an empty hall. He could control it to leave this place at any time, but he was not in a hurry to do so. Just as they were about to leave, white-haired Demonis said, My lord, let me stay here and cultivate. When you return, I'll go back with you. She had just obtained the complete profound formula and was already impatient to cultivate it. Yang Wu thought for a moment and said, Okay, then wait for me inside. And so, Yang Wu left the monster taming hall with Shu Yujun. The 2 of them quickly returned to Mount Hing. After they returned, they immediately went to find Shu Yuqing, but he had already gone into seclusion. With no other choice, they could only go find Grand Enforcer Ning Zhoujing. Ning Zhoujing was an expert of the Jade Moon Realm, one of the strongest experts of the Mount Hing sect. He might know the sword manuals of the other mountains. Why are you 2 here? Do you need something? Ning Zhoujing asked kindly. He was very happy to see Shu Yujun and Yang Wu together. Shu Yujun was the eldest miss of Mount Hing, a princess. Many people liked her. Everyone wanted her to marry into a good family, and Yang Wu was undoubtedly the most ideal candidate. Those who wanted to pursue Shu Yujun did not dare to say a word. Master Ning, I want to ask if you have any sword manuals of the other sects? Yang Wu asked. Why are you asking this? Ning Zhoujing asked in confusion. I don't want to do anything. I also practice sword skills, so I want to take a look and see if it can give me any inspiration, Yang Wu replied. Isn't our Southern Mountain Sword Manual enough for you to refer to? That's not it. The Southern Mountain Sword Manual is very good, but it might be better if we have the basic sword manuals of the other mountains. Just the basic manuals are enough. Yes, just the basic manuals are enough. Then go to the library and look for them. They have the basic manuals of the other 4 mountains. This is not a secret, but the basic manuals are not very useful. Most people would not cultivate them. Also, our 5 mountain sword manual is not allowed to be spread to outsiders. It's good that you've read it, Ning Zhoujing replied. Master Ning, why don't I know that our library has the 5 mountain sword manual? Shu Yujun asked. Haha, just as I said, the 5 Great Mountains fundamental sword technique is not allowed to be divulged to outsiders. It is kept in a secret place in the library. Go and tell the elder there. He will tell you where it is, Ning Zhoujing replied. Thus, Yang Wu and Shu Yujun left Ning Zhoujing's place and quickly headed to the library to look for the 5 mountain sword manual. After arriving at the library, Shu Yujun asked the elder guarding the library to retrieve the 5 mountain sword manual. The 5 mountain sword manual was not a single sword manual, but a set of 5 basic sword manuals. They corresponded to the basic manuals of the 5 mountain sword manuals of Mount Tai, Mount Huing, Mount Hua, Mount Huing, and Mount Song. As the son-in-law of Mount Huing, it was not difficult for Yang Wu to take a look at the 5 mountain sword manual. The basic sword manual was indeed very simple. It only introduced the basic cultivation methods of each sword manual. However, this was enough for Yang Wu. The 5 different sword manuals of the East, South, West, North, and Middle Mountain sword manuals. Once they were deduced, it was equivalent to grasping the inherited sword manuals of the 5 mountain sword sect. They could rebuild the 5 mountain sword sect at any time. After obtaining the basic sword manuals, Yang Wu brought Shu Yujun to the seclusion room. Husband, are you sure you can deduce the sword manuals of the 5 mountain sword sect? Shu Yujun asked solemnly. Don't be anxious. Guard me while I try to deduce it seriously. Yang Wu responded and began to integrate the basic sword manuals into the Regal 9 Mysteries formula. Yang Wu first fused the basic mnemonic chant of the Dongyue Sword Sutra. Once the mnemonic chant was fused with the 9 revered profound mantras, there was indeed a change. Yang Wu's soul embryo began to have layer after layer of sword mnemonic chants that were slowly being deduced. All of this did not require Yang Wu's guidance. The Regal 9 Mysteries formula was more than enough. Because this sword manual was severely damaged, the speed of deduction was much slower than the other manuals. After an entire day, the 13 layers of the sword manual were completely deduced. After completing this step, Yang Wu couldn't wait to deduce the West Mountain Sword Manual. Another day passed, and the Western Mountain Sword Scripture was deduced. On the 3rd and 4th day, the North Mountain Sword Manual and Middle Mountain Sword Manual were deduced. When these 5 sword manuals were deduced, the words, 5 Mountain Sword Manual, appeared in Yang Wu's mind. These 5 sword manuals could be integrated into one to form a sword manual. However, Yang Wu's Regal 9 Mysteries formula was unable to integrate these 5 sword manuals into one to form the final 5 Mountain Sword Manual. Yang Wu was immediately certain that the 5 Mountain Sword Manual was not only superior to the other 5 sword manuals, but it was also a top-notch manual that was not inferior to the Heavenly Palace's Heavenly Profound Manual. It might even be a low-grade Immortal Manual. Otherwise, Yang Wu wouldn't have been able to deduce it. The Regal 9 Mysteries formula could be used to deduce the cultivation methods of the Jade Moon Realm and below. Shu Yujun had been quietly protecting Yang Wu and didn't rush him. When Yang Wu opened his eyes, she asked, "How is it?" Yang Wu smiled. "I've already deduced the sword manuals of the other mountains." Not only did he deduce the sword manuals, his Regal 9 Mysteries formula's absorption speed also increased. It could be said that he killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Is this true? Shu Yujun revealed an expression of disbelief. Haha, of course it's true. How could I joke about this? Yang Wu laughed loudly and then passed on the mnemonics of the other 4 sword manuals to Shu Yujun. After hearing this, Shu Yujun was completely stunned. She was completely certain that Yang Wu's mnemonics were absolutely true. There wasn't the slightest bit of exaggeration. After a while, she came back to her senses and said, "Husband, how did you do it?" Relying on the basic sword manuals to deduce the complete sword manuals, this was an inconceivable matter. Even Tong Tian Old Monster didn't have this kind of ability. Even if it was someone with shocking perception, they still wouldn't be able to do it. But Yang Wu did it. She was truly shocked. Yang Wu hugged Shu Yujun and said, "Your husband is amazing. It's not like you don't know." Shu Yujun thought of the night when she and her husband entered the bridal chamber not long ago. Her face turned slightly red as she replied, "Smelly shameless." Yang Wu smiled and said, "Kiss me and I'll tell you the truth." Shu Yujun kissed Yang Wu's face without hesitation and said, "Quickly say it." Yang Wu then told Shu Yujun the secret of the Supreme 9 Profound Arts. She was already his woman. There was nothing wrong with sharing his secret with her. Moreover, he was also incomparably assured of Shu Yujun. She was a woman who would rather die than betray him. This is too inconceivable. After Shu Yujun heard this, she sighed with emotion. Then she said, "These sword manuals are the secrets of the various sections. Once leaked out, it would be a very serious matter. It seems like we can only hide this secret in our hearts and not expose it." Your thinking is right. In front of absolute strength, this matter cannot be exposed. Even father-in-law can't be told. Yang Wu said with a serious expression. Then he reminded, "I think you can cultivate these sword manuals. These 5 sword manuals are actually just 1 sword manual. It's called the 5 Mountains Sword Manual. It seems that the legend is true. I believe that my husband is not wrong. Once you cultivate this 5 Mountains Sword Manual to the highest level, you might be able to discover its secret and go even further. This is a sword manual that surpasses ordinary divine level. According to what you said, not only can I become a heavenly expert in the future, I can even break through to a higher realm? Of course. Even without the 5 Mountains Sword Manual, I can still help you break through to a higher realm. My husband is indeed the most powerful." Chapter 13:12. The 5 Mountains Tournament was approaching. Shu Yujun had obtained the 5 Mountains Sword Manual, which would be of great help to her. This sword manual was not only a cultivation method, but also the source of the 5 Mountains swordsmanship. As long as she could master the 5 Mountains Sword Manual, she would be able to understand the 5 Mountains sex weaknesses. Yang Wu and Shu Yujun had been loving each other for half a month, and it was time for him to leave. Once again, he returned to the monster taming hall and left with it. The white-haired demoness and Bai Luoyun naturally followed him. Bai Luoyun had decided to stay by Yang Wu's side to gain more benefits. Naturally, he would not stay in the clan. When Yang Wu brought Bai Luoyun back to the monster taming hall, Yang Wu activated the monster taming order and shouted, "Activate the hall." In the next moment, his celestial chi flowed into the demon taming token endlessly. Demon tamers appeared one after another. They were mighty and majestic, holding all kinds of torture instruments in their hands. They were filled with murderous intent. They swept in different directions of the hall and poured their power into the array core inside the hall. The demon taming hall was lifted up by their power. Splash! Splash! The water of the Yangtze River was pushed aside, and the hall broke out of the water. As one of the halls of the Heavenly Palace, the monster taming hall was made of all kinds of divine materials and was supported by a divine formation. Without the power of an immortal sage, it was impossible to activate the entire hall. Without the monster taming order, it was impossible to activate the hall. Yang Wu fulfilled these conditions, and finally, the monster taming hall emerged from the water. Bang! When the monster taming hall rushed out of the Yangtze River, it created countless waves. Many creatures in the Yangtze River were alarmed, and many on the shore were alarmed as well. Before they could figure out what the monster taming hall was, it had already disappeared into the clouds, flying into the distance at an astonishing speed. Some saint-level creatures who did not know what had happened thought that some divine object had appeared in the Yangtze River, and quickly chased after the monster taming hall. Unfortunately, they could not match the speed of the monster taming hall, and were quickly shaken off. However, there were still creatures that chased after the monster taming hall with all their might. Ha ha! To think that a divine palace would appear right after your lord's seclusion. This is destined to be a great opportunity for your lord. This was a creature that was tightly bound by white bandages. Only a pair of green eyes could be seen, and its entire body was suffused with an aura of death and corpse. It gave people a feeling that it was unapproachable. This was a creature from the Corpse clan, and it had reached the Corpse God realm. This was the god's corpse of the Necromancer race. The Necromancer race and the Corpse clan coexisted, and the two races helped each other. The Necromancer race gathered corpses and chose the best burial ground for the Corpse clan members. Then, they nurtured the living creatures of the Corpse clan. After the living creatures of the Corpse clan were revived, they would help the Necromancer race become stronger. The Necromancer race was not above the Corpse clan because of this. They could control corpses, which meant they respected corpses. Only by worshipping corpses could they gain the recognition of the Corpse clan. This creature from the Corpse clan had just ascended to the deity level and coincidentally encountered the appearance of the beast taming hall, so it chased after them impatiently. It believed that this was a peerless opportunity, a divine treasure. If it could obtain it, it would own its own palace. In the Transcendence world, there were not many people who could own their own palaces, and these palaces would not be easily moved. They would be located in the important areas of various factions, and once they were moved, it would be the time when something big would happen. The beast taming hall was supported by a divine array, but it still looked a little shabby. It was not as glorious as it used to be, so the god's corpse mistook it for an ownerless object. Yang Wu sensed the god's corpse chasing after them, and a trace of surprise flashed across his face. "Is it the god's corpse?" After a pause, he muttered to himself, "You dare to chase after me? Let me see how strong you are." In the next moment, he controlled the beast taming hall to crash into the god's corpse. The beast taming hall crashed into the god's corpse at an extremely fast speed. It was like a meteor crashing into the god's corpse with great momentum. The god's corpse did not expect the beast taming hall to crash into him. He was startled and fell back, then shouted, "Who is in the hall? Please come out quickly." The god's corpse was extremely intelligent. He guessed that the beast taming hall already had an owner. However, he did not retreat just like that. He still had a glimmer of hope, and that was to become the beast taming hall's owner. Yang Wu ignored the god's corpse and continued to push the beast taming hall forward. Do you really think a mere beast taming hall can hurt me? This is only the power of a divine array. Watch me break it." The god's corpse calmed himself down and shouted. He formed a seal with both hands and blasted it at the beast taming hall. Corpse Fiend Seal. Countless amounts of corpse energy gathered together, and a large amount of Xian Qi of heaven and earth was gathered by him. It formed a majestic seal that slammed into the beast taming hall. Countless amounts of energy were gathered by him, forming a power that could destroy heaven and earth. He displayed extraordinary battle prowess. In the face of this seal, Yang Wu still did not make a move. He only held the beast taming token and poured in his own power. Layer after layer of the divine array's power was strengthened. The dozen or so beast tamers were completely activated. Their power kept increasing, reaching the god tier. This was the result of the divine array and Yang Wu's power. When the power of the Corpse Fiend's seal was about to hit the beast taming hall, the dozen or so beast tamers attacked at the same time. Some swung down with hooks, some whipped wildly with long whips, and some chopped down with knives. They displayed astonishing power to protect the beast taming hall. Boom! Boom! Earth-shattering explosions rang out endlessly. One after another, balls of energy flew in all directions. Clouds scattered, and the void for thousands of miles cracked. The destructive power was extremely shocking. The God's Corpse's Corpse Fiend seal was shattered, but there was still energy left to attack the God's Corpse. The God's Corpse attacked continuously, and only then did he manage to block the power of the beast tamers. However, the beast taming hall had already charged in front of the God's Corpse. He was forced to block with all his strength, but he was still sent flying. So powerful! The God's Corpse exclaimed and frantically retreated. Yang Wu urged the beast taming hall to continue charging. He smiled and said, "The beast taming hall has merged with the wills of the past masters of the beast taming hall. I didn't use much power, but I can still unleash their divine tier offensive power." The demon tamers moved out once more, unleashing a barrage of demon-slaying attacks at the God's Corpse. The God's Corpse didn't dare to be careless either. He continuously struck out with his palms, each strike stronger than the last. Even though the heavens and earth cracked, he still couldn't destroy the beast tamers. Instead, he was injured by the beast tamers, forcing him to retreat again and again. "I'm done playing." The God's Corpse was extremely depressed. He did not even know who the master of the beast taming hall was, but he was forced to retreat by the power of the array. It was really embarrassing. "You want to stop playing? It's not that easy. Get in here." Yang Wu did not want to let the God's Corpse go. He knew that the Corpse race and the Corpse race of the Xiangjiang domain had a grudge against the Heng Mountain sect. He could not let the God's Corpse go. The beast taming hall charged forward at full speed. The divine array expanded and no longer attacked the God's Corpse. It directly brought him into the range of the divine hall. After entering the array, the God's Corpse did not panic. His green eyes were filled with killing intent. He sneered and said, "You dare to let me into the array? How wonderful!" The next moment, 18 flags flew out from behind him and were inserted in all directions. Swoosh! The flags were inserted in different directions. They actually slowed down the flow of power of the divine array. "Array-breaking flags?" Yang Wu exclaimed softly. The God's Corpse looked at Yang Wu and said, "You have good eyes. This divine hall is mine." Then, he attacked Yang Wu with a terrifying killing palm. He wanted to eliminate Yang Wu. In his opinion, Yang Wu was not powerful. What was powerful was the divine array of the divine hall. The God's Corpse attacked the Corpse evil array. Ordinary creatures did not want to come into contact with it. Not only did the Corpse evil chi corrode one's vitality, it also contained a domineering corpse poison. It was very difficult to deal with and get rid of. Yang Wu was not afraid. His eyes were filled with battle intent. He took the initiative to meet the God's Corpse. Like a black tortoise emerging from the water, he punched out with a force that could break rivers. When the two attacks collided, Yang Wu and the God's Corpse staggered and counterattacked at the same time. Their speed was so fast that it made people speechless. They fought speed with speed, one move after another, causing the main hall to shake. The air continued to crack, creating a huge commotion. The white-haired she-devil and Bai Luoyun in the hall didn't dare to approach. Even the slightest bit of residual energy from the battle could cause them to fall and die. "My lord is really getting stronger and stronger." Bai Luoyun had not seen Yang Wu fight for a while. Now that he saw it again, he could not help but sigh with emotion. He had followed Yang Wu for 8 years. In 8 years, Yang Wu had jumped from the Earth-Sea realm to a powerhouse comparable to the Heaven-reaching realm. His speed of advancement was really incomparable. White-haired Demoness also agreed. She said, "No matter how hard we work, we can't catch up with my lord." As long as we are not left too far behind and are not considered worthless, it will be fine. You are right. I will break through to the Saint Realm as soon as possible and become one of my lord's strongest followers. Bai Luoyun clenched his fist and said, "That's a good goal. Do your best." White-haired Demonis smiled faintly. She was thinking that not only would she become one of Yang Wu's strongest followers, she would also want to become his woman one day. On the battlefield, Yang Wu and the god's corpse were fighting more and more fiercely. Both of their fists and palms were hitting each other's flesh. Neither of them had the upper hand, and neither of them retreated. Yang Wu's fist hit the god's corpse, and the god's corpse also hit Yang Wu's body with his palm. Most of the time, they were exchanging blows. Yang Wu could fight the god's corpse to this extent with his bare hands. This meant that he really did have the ability to fight against the heaven-reaching realm. "I don't believe that I can't take down a brat like you," the god's corpse roared. His eyes emitted a green light and shot at Yang Wu's black tortoise battle armor. The black tortoise battle armor was corroded, and went straight into Yang Wu's chest, sending Yang Wu flying. After the god's corpse succeeded, he chased after Yang Wu again and threw an extremely ferocious punch at Yang Wu's vitals. He wanted to kill Yang Wu. Although Yang Wu was hit, he wasn't completely passive. The Nether's winged blade slashed out invisibly and hit the god's corpse's waist. Although it didn't cut the god's corpse in half, it stopped the god's corpse from attacking. "Big, big, big!" Yang Wu shouted a few times and instantly turned into a 1,300-meter tall giant. He furiously kicked the god's corpse and sent him flying. Wind God Kick. Barbaric God Arm. Chapter 13:13. Yang Wu's two innate powers merged with the god's grave chi and entered the second stage. After Yang Wu's saint body reached the great success stage, the innate powers of the second stage became even more powerful. Every sweep of his arm was like a huge python rushing out and devouring the god's corpse. The wind god's kick increased his speed and kicked out a storm of wind blades that could destroy everything. After Yang Wu reached the 7th level of the celestial rune realm, he was really powerful. Boundless power of the stars descended from the Emperor's star. Every move of his contained the power of a huge star. With Yang Wu's current combat power, he could withstand the power of the stars of other saints at the peak of the celestial rune realm. A saint at the peak of the celestial rune realm could withstand the power of one star, but Yang Wu had already surpassed this range and reached the power of 7 stars. In other words, every level of the celestial rune realm could withstand the power of 1 star. At the 7th level of the celestial rune realm, he could withstand the power of 7 stars. The power of 7 stars stacked together to form a huge star. His combat power was no joke. This was the true power of a great success saint body. Under Yang Wu's all-out attack, the god's corpse was not in a good condition. Wounds appeared on his divine body. If this continued, Yang Wu might really kill him. The god's corpse had reached the divine realm and was not easily defeated. The evil corpse chi of the god's corpse formed a terrifying field that wrapped around Yang Wu layer by layer. He was confident that no living creature could stop the evil corpse chi and that Yang Wu would definitely be killed by him. In addition, he was not afraid of pain. Unless his vitality was completely destroyed, he could continue to fight. Moreover, he believed that his divine body was stronger than Yang Wu's. Just as he thought that he had gained the upper hand, a terrifying power of thunder and lightning suddenly descended. Electric fork magnetic field. The boundless power of thunder and lightning swept over wave after wave. The electric forks twisted around the god's corpse and broke his divine body. They entered his body and cut off his vitality. This time, the god corpse was scared. The extreme yang power of thunder and lightning just so happened to be the nemesis of his corpse evil chi. It continued to destroy his life force. If this continued, he would definitely be killed by Yang Wu. Yang Wu was like the god of thunder, controlling the power of thunder and lightning. Many electric forks bombarded the god corpse, destroying its corpse evil energy. The god corpse wouldn't just sit there and wait for death. Once again, an astonishing killing power erupted from his pupils. Like a skull that could devour vitality, it broke through the power of the electric forks and entangled Yang Kai. Not only that, he also used his ultimate move, Corpse Mountain Transformation. All of a sudden, his divine body grew larger, as if he had turned into a mountain of corpses. Boundless corpse chi erupted from his body as boundless power surged forth. He threw out a domineering palm strike, shattering all of Yang Wu's electric fork's power. He didn't care about the pain he was suffering as he moved forward bravely, vowing to kill Yang Wu in this one move. Yang Wu sensed that his opponent was going all out, so he no longer held back. Let's see how strong you are. In the next step, 7 huge star lines floated around Yang Wu's body, and clusters of star power enveloped him. His right foot took a step forward, and his fist punched out like a dragon. Yang Wu also went all out. True martial fist Dao. The sun and moon were reversing, the stars were drifting, and true martial was descending. Rumble, rumble. When the fists and palms collided, 2 unstoppable forces exploded, and the 2 creatures spat out blood as they were sent tumbling back. Yang Wu was able to fight a god corpse to a standstill. His strength was indeed astonishing. When he was at the level 6 celestial rune realm, Yang Wu already had the ability to slaughter god-grade life forms. That was with the help of divine weapons and his innate talent. Now, he could fight god-grade life forms without using those trump cards. This was his progress. The moment the god corpse separated from Yang Wu, he turned around and fled without hesitation. A human at the Star Veins realm could deal with a god-grade being like him. He was definitely a monster among monsters. If he didn't flee now, when would he? Unfortunately, how could Yang Wu let him escape? How can I let such a good puppet god corpse escape? Yang Wu shouted, finally using a soul attack. The god corpse could come back to life not only because the corpse had mutated, but also because the soul had been recondensed. Demonic Needle. The demonic needle was more effective as a soul attack. It could directly pierce into the depths of the opponent's soul and heavily injure them. The god corpse's soul was hidden in a sea of corpses. The sea of corpses was similar to a human's skull, containing the spirits of the dead. The spirits of the gods' corpses were stronger than ordinary living creatures. They were mutated souls with powerful regenerative abilities. When the demonic shadow needles hit the spirits of the dead, they formed layers of defenses to block the needles. This was the first time Yang Wu had failed to use the demonic needle. Corpse Curse. The god corpses' spirits of the dead rushed out and roared at the top of their lungs. The power of the spirits of the dead formed a corpse curse that rushed toward Yang Wu. Once branded by the corpse curse, they would definitely become a puppet controlled by the god corpse. Deity Beating Whip. The deity beating whip was used to attack the soul. As the whip lashed out, a sharp force directly struck the corpse curse. Bang! The corpse curse was directly shattered. The deity beating whip flew through the air and smashed down like raindrop. The god corpses' spirits of the dead tried to block it, but unfortunately, their soul power was still shattered bit by bit. The god corpse was really scared by Yang Wu. He recalled the spirits of the dead and planned to escape again. Unfortunately, there was no place for him to escape here. More than a dozen beast tamers rushed over. One after another, instruments of torture were thrown at him. These demon tamers were the most powerful in the demon taming hall. When they worked together, they were even more powerful. Even if the god corpse had the array-breaking flag, he couldn't break the divine array of the demon taming hall. Yang Wu attacked from behind, using the deity beating whip and the demonic needle. After a fierce battle, he finally took down the god corpse. Yang Wu didn't use the divine weapon because he wanted to preserve the god corpse's body. He couldn't destroy his physical body. This was a god-level puppet that had come to him on a silver platter. He couldn't waste it. The god corpse's soul had been erased. Yang Wu didn't need a living god-level puppet. He only needed a dead one. You'll be perfect to suppress the demon taming hall in the future, Yang Wu murmured and began to control the god-level corpse. He had cultivated the puppet control art and the shape-shifting art. With the combination of these two secret arts, he could condense the soul energy of the corpse race and enter the corpse sea of the corpse race to help this god corpse come back to life. Yang Wu hadn't been able to use the shape-shifting art yet. Now that he had a chance to test it out, he naturally wouldn't let it go. The shape-shifting art was extremely magical. It could allow Yang Wu's soul to change into many different forms. For example, he could change into the appearance of various spirit demons, plants, or even other people. If his soul grew stronger and stronger one day, he would be able to achieve this step. It would be a very shocking secret technique. This shape-shifting technique wasn't something that just anyone could cultivate. Only those with a soul embryo could cultivate it. Coincidentally, Yang Wu had reached the soul embryo stage. He had cultivated the Soul Control Heart Sutra and the Soul Tactic. With his powerful soul force, cultivating the shape-shifting technique was much easier for him. Shape-shifting was to change one's soul embryo into different shape. One had to be able to control one's soul power well and compress it to different extent. It was like molding a clay figurine. Only by being able to change one's soul embryo could one truly shapeshift. As of now, Yang Wu hadn't reached this step. However, it was still very easy for him to separate a portion of his soul energy and transform it into a corpse soul. When Yang Wu's soul energy entered the corpse sea and transformed it into a corpse soul, the god corpse came back to life. This bit of soul energy wasn't like the soul energy needed to create an imperial edict. He only needed to maintain his willpower to control the god corpse. After taking control of the god corpse, Yang Wu had it reside in the depths of the demon taming hall. From now on, he would be the guardian of the demon taming hall. The demon taming hall flew away again. This time, Yang Wu activated a concealment formation to hide the demon taming hall. He didn't want to run into trouble again. While the demon taming hall flew to the world of battles, Yang Wu and the white hair witch practiced. The white hair witch's cultivation talent wasn't any worse than any prodigy in the transcendental realm. She was only delayed for a while. Fortunately, Yang Wu had given her second-grade immortal elixirs and pills to make up for it. In Yang Wu's eyes, she still had a lot of potential to be unearthed. Thus, he took advantage of this free time to train her. She was a very beautiful woman. She was even more beautiful than Shu Yujun. However, she was usually covered by her white hair. Not many people could see her peerless face. In her heart, she would only blossom in front of the man in front of her. Attack a little faster. How can this little bit of energy hurt me? Imagine me as your enemy. Be more ruthless. Don't hold back. Yunqi, how can you stay by my side like this? You're too weak. Yunqi, you're a sissy. The white hair which used all of her skills to fight with Yang Wu. Her third-level star rune realm battle power was very strong. However, she couldn't even defeat Yang Wu, who was a first-level star rune realm battle power. She was looked down upon by Yang Wu. The white hair which was also a person with self-respect. She didn't want the gap between her and Yang Wu to grow bigger. She constantly exploded with shocking energy towards Yang Wu. She even used her silver hair talent just to show that she wasn't that weak. Before her silver hair could touch Yang Wu grabbed her hair and smashed her heavily to the ground. At the same time, Yang Wu's rain-like attacks ruthlessly hit her body. Tao of lightning. The power of thunder and lightning descended wave after wave. It was like a lightning tribulation, and it was not something that anyone could withstand. The white hair witch's body was riddled with holes. Many places that shouldn't be exposed were also exposed. It was incomparably alluring. When she was on the verge of death, she was thrown into the medicinal cauldron. Temper your body properly. You're too weak. Chapter 13-14. From the very beginning, white-haired Demoness had a very good impression of Yang Wu. He was an outstanding man. Although Yang Wu was taken down by her, she was later controlled by him. After being saved by Yang Wu once, she was dead set on him. However, she never thought that Yang Wu would destroy her like a devil. He was incomparably gentle to other women. Why was he so cruel to her? The key point was that Yang Wu's attacks on her body seemed to be filled with magic. It made her feel pain and happiness. She was beaten black and blue by Yang Wu again and again. When she was immersed in the medicinal cauldron, Yang Wu would protect her. His gentle gaze made her feel very shy. Yang Wu passed on the 9 lightning body tempering technique to her. That was why he used the power of lightning to temper her and help her to improve her saint body as soon as possible. He had a plan, and that was to help all his attendants reach the great success saint body. Once they reached that step, they would become an incomparably terrifying force. Of course, he was just thinking about it. Not everyone had such monstrous talent and opportunity like him. After white-haired Demoness came out of the medicinal cauldron again and again, her physical strength increased by a large amount. Her vitality also increased along with it. Moreover, her combat strength was also rapidly increasing. With her current combat strength, she was definitely comparable to any intermediate Sage Realm creature. Yunqi, your progress is very fast. However, it is still not enough. Continue to strengthen yourself. Properly comprehend the power of the star patterns. Temper your body every day and discover the mysteries of your physical body. Your combat strength will become even stronger. Yang Wu warned white-haired Demoness. White-haired Demoness nodded deeply and said, I know. I will definitely not be a burden to you. What are you saying? You are my person. I am doing my best to improve you. I hope that you will have the ability to protect yourself in the future. Otherwise, you will have to obediently go back with the people behind you. Master, you have guessed it. When you passed the profound formula to me, I already guessed it. The legendary 4 Islands domain's strength is not inferior to the transcendent world. They have invaded the transcendent world many times and caused many massacres. The 4 Isles territory is too small. This is the reason why they invaded the transcendent. Actually, not everyone in the 4 Isles is evil beyond redemption. This has nothing to do with me. It's fine as long as they don't come looking for trouble with me or you. I hope that you can suppress them in the Martial Saint Assembly. I'll do my best. While white-haired Demoness was being trained by Yang Wu, Bai Luoyun was also not idle. He was also crazily cultivating. Bai Luoyun was still a distance away from the Saint Realm. He was not a human, so he could not participate in the Martial Saint Assembly. However, he could participate in the Thousand Saints Assembly. The Thousand Saints Assembly was the clash of the strongest saints of the different races. He could enter the territory of the different races and fight for a spot. This was also one of the goals that Yang Wu had set for him. Yang Wu gave him a lot of cultivation resources, enough for him to break through to the Saint Realm in a short period of time. However, Yang Wu hoped that he could continue to temper his body. Any creature would have more powerful combat strength only when their body was strong. The one that Bai Luoyun was training with was the Sacred Mandala Flower. After the Sacred Mandala Flower devoured many high-level demon bodies, it had already stabilized at the peak of the Saint Realm. It was enough for her to train Bai Luoyun. Flower vines kept whipping Bai Luoyun, forcing Bai Luoyun to use all his strength to resist. In the end, he was also beaten black and blue. When he was about to be beaten to death, he was also thrown into a medicinal cauldron to recover. After going through tempering again and again, he also made very obvious progress. It would be even more beneficial for him in the future. Bai Luoyun was a Whitewater clan member who could be ruthless to himself. However, in his opinion, it was not enough. Of course, ruthlessness alone was not enough. He also needed to have comprehension. He had to find a suitable path for himself to become stronger. When a person knew how to reflect on their own shortcomings, it was time for them to improve. Unknowingly, the beast taming hall arrived in the sky above the war race realm. At this time, Yang Wu did not hesitate to sense the inheritance tower of the medicine god temple and moved the beast taming hall there. Then, Yang Wu threw the white-haired demoness and Bai Luoyun into the medicine god temple to cultivate. There were many mountain ranges here, and there were many inheritances of cultivators. It was a suitable place for tempering. Now, Jin Yuchen, Jin Yuhao, Wu Simin, and the others were also training here. Yang Wu would not mistreat the people around him. He was a man of his word. As for Ren Xiaofeng and Nangong Shiqin, they had other important tasks. Ren Xiaofeng had once established a first-rate force and had very strong management skills. Yang Wu arranged for him to form an intelligence team and develop the various talents needed by the Marquis gang. No matter the time, intelligence was the fastest way to learn about the world. With intelligence, one could better understand the world's movement. It was very beneficial for developing one's force. As for Nangong Shiqin, she originally had her own business in Ding City. It was called the Nangong Trading Company and sold pills and herbs. The Nangong Trading Company originally had a group of people and had established many businesses in many places. It could be considered a first-rate force. Yang Wu had no reason to let go of such a force. Nangong Shiqin had long wanted to find a backer. Relying on Yang Wu was undoubtedly the best choice. As for whether Nangong Shiqin could change the name of the Nangong Trading Company to the Marquis Gang, it would depend on her own ability. When she returned to Ding City, Yang Wu had helped her increase her strength by 1 level. He had also asked Ren Xiaofeng to cooperate with her and suppress some voices of opposition. Yang Wu could not be bothered with these things. What he desired most at the moment was to go to the Purple Firmament Hall and marry Yu Yu. The Purple Firmament Hall had already launched an attack on him. This proved that they really did not want him to be with Yu Yu. If this dragged on, it would be too late for him to regret if Yu Yu was sent to the godly realm. The Purple Firmament Hall was very powerful. It was not very possible for him to go there alone. He had to find a stronger helper. Yu Huijin was indeed a very good helper. However, she always wanted to regain her freedom. It was very difficult to get her to put in 100% effort. Yang Wu looked at the Saint Do tribe being suppressed by the Inheritance Tower. Do Yen was definitely a powerful being. He was definitely stronger than Yu Huijin. Yang Wu suspected that even if he did not surpass the godly realm, he was definitely in existence at the peak of the godly realm. If he had his help, he would have the confidence to go to the Purple Firmament Hall. Yang Wu went to the bottom of the Inheritance Tower and saw the suppressed Do Yen. He was still full of energy and had a strong evil aura. He did not give in just because he was suppressed. "Little bastard, you still dare to come and see me." Do Yen could not help but roar when he saw Yang Wu. His voice was filled with the power to kill. If it were not for the Inheritance Tower suppressing him, his voice alone would be enough to kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu looked at Do Yen calmly and said, "Old dog, you are only a prisoner now. If you speak to me like this again, do you believe that I will suppress you here forever? Who do you think you are? You are just an in-name disciple of the Medicine God Hall. When I am free, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death," Do Yen said through gritted teeth. Yang Wu smiled faintly and said, "Don't even think about it in this lifetime." He paused for a moment and said, "Actually, I wanted to let you out this time. Since you want to kill me, then just pretend that I never came. After all, I was not the one who suppressed you here." Yang Wu turned and left. Do Yen shouted anxiously, "Are you really going to let me out?" Yang Wu did not answer and continued walking. His back was about to disappear from the Inheritance Tower. "What do you want me to do? As long as I am able to do it, I will definitely satisfy you," Do Yen shouted. He had a lot of abilities, but he could not escape the suppression of the Inheritance Tower. He did not want to continue like this. As long as he could leave this place, what was the point of lowering his status? Yang Wu ignored him and quietly left the inheritance tower. It won't be long before you give in, Yang Wu thought to himself. He could feel the change in Do Yan's heart, so he was not in a hurry for now. It would be best if he could find Shou Ho. He believed that they would be able to have a good chat. Thinking of this, Yang Wu called Jin Yuchen and Jin Yuhao over and had them go to the Devouring Sun realm to find Shou Ho. Shou Ho's location was very hidden, but he had already told Yang Wu where he was. Yang Wu had killed the Death God clan's divine demon rank powerhouse, so it was not convenient for him to go to the Devouring Sun realm for now. It was better for Jin Yuchen and Jin Yuhao to go there. The two brothers were eager to leave Yang Wu and have some freedom. They obeyed and left. They would find Shou Ho as soon as possible. Immediately after, Yang Wu returned to his family. In the days that he was gone, the Yang family city was bustling. A large number of cultivators poured into the Yang family city just to buy a divine pill from Yang Wu. But was Yang Wu's divine pill so easy to buy? If they couldn't get a divine pill, they could at least ask for an Emperor-grade divine pill. An Emperor-grade divine pill was a divine pill that could withstand 4 lightning tribulations. Its medicinal effects were amazing, and its effect on one's foundation was negligible. The people of the Yang family spread the news that Yang Wu was not only a divine alchemist, but also an Emperor-grade alchemist. He was one of the limited Emperor-grade alchemists in the transcendent world. Many cultivators posted missions at the Yang family's Alchemist Union branch, hoping that Yang Wu would accept their missions. At the same time, they also gave Yang Wu specific missions, but the price was higher. In addition, some forces came to form an alliance with the Yang family. Their intentions were self-evident. After Yang Wu returned to the family, he began to choose missions. He would only accept missions if the price was high enough. If the price was not high enough, he would not take action. His subordinates could do it for him. In addition, he was also willing to satisfy the requirements of some forces as long as the other party could pay the price. As for forming an alliance, it was up to Gong Xilon, Yang Taihe, and the others to decide. If they felt that the alliance could be formed, he would agree. If they did not like the alliance, he would not agree. During the time that Yang Wu was the patriarch, the Yang family grew rapidly. At the critical moment, a message came quickly. King Yama's palace requested Yang Wu to go to the Death Mountain range. Otherwise, the Death Rose would die. Chapter 13-15. Amitba, a man-eating female demon fell from the sky. I'm afraid she'll eat me, Amitba. Sister, don't look at me like that, I'll be shy. Kill yourself. What do you mean? Don't you know I saved your life? Do you think you can make me succumb to your lust just because you're a little prettier and stronger? That's impossible. Kill yourself. You're biting the hand that feeds you. Do you even have a conscience? You vicious woman, you murdered your husband. You'll die a horrible death. One day, I'll become a ghost and come back to take your life. All right, come back with me. You'll be one of the deputy commanders of the Death Legion. You'll only be responsible for me. You like me, right? Scenes from the past replayed endlessly in the youth's mind. On the once merciless battlefield, there were still traces of an unforgettable past. If Yang Wu hadn't come to the Death Mountain range, the Rose of Death would have been beheaded. Who was Yang Wu? Who was the Rose of Death? Only the parties involved knew. Outsiders didn't know. The Yang family definitely didn't want Yang Wu to enter the Death Mountain range. The King of Hell's palace would definitely prepare an inescapable net for Yang Wu to rescue her. A sneer flashed across Yang Wu's face as he muttered, "What a good move!" With his current status, was it necessary to save the Rose of Death? Their relationship hadn't reached that stage, so why did the King of Hell's palace think they could attract him? Yang Wu called Pang Yuan to discuss this matter. How do you think we should resolve this? The best solution is for the Lord not to go. There's no other choice? There's no other choice. The Lord's body is priceless. How could he risk his life for a woman? Besides, that woman is also a member of the King of Hell's palace. Even if the Patriarch rescued her, it's hard to guarantee that she wasn't already controlled. Therefore, there's no need to take the risk. The Patriarch mustn't take any chances. Peng Yuan's words were very correct, and they also touched the bottom of Yang Wu's heart. For the sake of his past relationship with the Rose of Death, Yang Wu wanted to save her. After all, his first martial Dao was obtained because of saving her. Back then, she had treated him quite well. However, it was obviously not worth it to put him in danger just because of this little bit of friendship. Yang Wu was no longer a hot-blooded youth. Then let's not bother about him. I'm preparing to make a trip to the Purple Firmament Hall. I have no choice but to make this trip. What's your plan, military advisor? Yang Wu asked Peng Yuan again. Yang Wu then told him about the situation with Ziyu. Peng Yuan's face kept twitching. First, it was the King of Hell's palace. Now, it was the Purple Firmament Palace. He was almost scared out of his wit. Peng Yuan had long understood the situation of all the factions in the Transcendence world. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for him to become Yang Wu's strategist. He was silent for a moment, then said, "Since Milord wants to welcome Madame back, then let's do it openly and with great fanfare." How do we do it with great fanfare? Bestow a divine pill and recruit all the heroes in the world to accompany Milord in welcoming the bride. If it succeeds, it will be a good story. At the same time, it will help Milord and the Yang family's reputation to reach a higher level. If it doesn't succeed, it will make the Purple Firmament Hall somewhat fearful and not dare to kill you easily. Your idea is not bad. Let's discuss it carefully. After Yang Wu and Peng Yuan seriously discussed many details, they decided to head to the Purple Firmament Hall to welcome Ziyu with great fanfare. Ziyu had an irreplaceable position in his heart. Today, it was time to bring her back to his side. Thus, Yang Wu spread the word that any heavenly-reaching old monster who was willing to accompany him to the Purple Firmament Hall to welcome his wife, Ziyu, would be bestowed a divine pill. He was even willing to refine the divine pill for them. When this news spread out from the Yang family city, it immediately caused a sensation. The Purple Firmament Hall's holy maiden, Ziyu, is Yang Wu's wife? Why haven't I heard of this before? I've long heard that Yang Wu and Fairy Ziyu are having an affair. It seems like it's true. It's not that easy to get a divine realm expert to work for a divine pill. I'm afraid he won't be able to get many people to help him. The Purple Firmament Hall is so powerful. Not everyone dares to provoke such a colossus. Don't forget that Yang Wu has the Heavenly Palace behind him. There are also Overlord-class experts in the Heavenly Palace. Xiang Dingtian also seems to have some connections with the Heavenly Palace. The Purple Firmament Hall won't dare to do anything rash. Before Yang Wu set off, he still had many things to do. First, he had to refine a batch of divine pills to deal with the Yang family's allies and the Apothecary Alliance's missions. He entered the Apothecary Hall to refine divine pills and complete these missions as quickly as possible. As for whether there would be heavenly-reaching old monster willing to escort him to the Purple Firmament Hall, it was hard to say. Fortunately, the Apothecary Alliance's influence this time wasn't limited to the human race. It included the spirit demons and other races. Perhaps these races wouldn't be afraid of the Purple Firmament Hall. For this reason, Yang Wu had to prepare some divine pills for the spirit demons and other races. Regardless of whether he needed them or not, he had to refine them first. It was better to be prepared. After Yang Wu received the Apothecary Hall's inheritance, he became more proficient in refining divine pills. His failure rate was very low. Most of the divine pills he refined were second tribulation divine pills and above. Every time he was struck by divine lightning, he would feel like dying. Every time he was severely injured, he would rush into the cauldron to refine his divine body. The medicinal liquid he refined in the cauldron contained all kinds of stimulant. It would make the refinement method twice as effective as half the effort, as long as he could withstand the torment. This pain might be unbearable for others, but for Yang Wu it was nothing. Only by enduring the most hardships could one rise above others. He didn't achieve what he had today by luck. After an unknown period of time, Yang Wu refined a large batch of pills. In addition to divine pills, there were also divine pills. It was enough to support the Yang family for a while. Yang Wu summoned Di Long Qiulong. I'll give you this divine pill. It will help you break through. Di Long was overjoyed. A divine pill could definitely help him break through and save 1,000 years of cultivation. Thank you, my lord, Di Long said gratefully after receiving the divine pill. You're welcome. Open up some high-quality medicinal fields for me. I can use them all, Yang Wu replied. Don't worry, my lord. I'll make a lot of land for you, Di Long replied. Di Long was best at loosening the soil. He also had a talent that could help the soil level up. Wherever he was, it would be a good place to plant herbs. Yang Wu planned to bring his mother to the Medicine God Palace as well. The Yang family's land wasn't small, but it wasn't as safe as the Medicine God Palace. After sending Di Long away, Yang Wu called Yu Huaijin over. Most of the time, Yu Huaijin stayed in the Yang family and secretly protected them. Yu Huaijin was very powerful. During this period of time, those who wanted to fish in troubled waters to enter the Yang family were all sent away by her. Who knew if those transcending heaven-tier powerhouses were here to inquire about some information, or if they were secretly attacking the Yang family? Heaven-reaching experts without a proper invitation were not allowed to enter the Yang family's territory. This was the Yang family's current security. After a period of time, the heaven-reaching experts who came to the Yang family basically went through the proper channels. They didn't dare to sneak in. I want you to save someone, Yang Wu said to Yu Huaijin directly. My lord, please tell me, Yu Huaijin replied. When she replied, her body leaned forward slightly, revealing a small part of her snow-white skin. It really made one's blood boil. She was a woman from the Fox Moon clan. She was naturally charming and had a graceful voice. Wearing a white dress on her exquisite figure, she was like a fairy descending to the mortal world. Nothing could be more beautiful. Such a woman, no overlord in the transcendent world would be able to resist the urge to take her in. Yang Wu didn't stand on ceremony with Yu Huaijin. He condensed the appearance of the Rose of Death and asked Yu Huaijin to go save her. After telling Pang Yuan that he wouldn't save the Rose of Death, he still couldn't let it go. Maybe it was because he was a playboy. He still missed the time when he was in the army at the Great Xia border, saving someone from the King of Hell's palace. My lord, the mission you gave me is really dangerous. Yu Huaijin revealed a trace of emotion. There's a King of Hell's palace in the God realm? Yang Wu asked. More than that, it's an incomparably terrifying existence. Yu Huaijin sighed. Then do you accept this mission or not? Yes, I also want to see what secrets are hidden in the human realm. Okay, be careful. Yang Wu wanted to go to the Purple Firmament Palace, but he sent Yu Huaijin away. This wasn't a good thing for him. But since he had already done so, he was naturally fully prepared. He felt that it was time to make a trip back to the Heavenly Palace. He was also someone with backing. Ziyue's marriage was to be witnessed by his master, so it was impossible for his master to not care about this matter. Moreover, he also had a senior brother, Xiang Dingtian. His master couldn't ignore this matter, right? Thus, without alerting anyone, he rode the tribulation cloud alone to the Heavenly Palace. With the tribulation cloud, Yang Wu's flying speed was too fast. Moreover, it didn't consume any energy. He only needed to use some spiritual power to guide the tribulation cloud forward. He could also concentrate on cultivating on the tribulation cloud. Soul tactics needed to be cultivated constantly. World Destroyer Frenzied Blade could also be put on the cultivation schedule. There were also many martial arts that Yang Wu had that needed to be cultivated diligently. Cultivation was like rowing a boat against the current. If you slacked off, you might fall behind. Yang Wu had to seize every moment to cultivate and reach the Jade Moon Realm as soon as possible. After the trip to the Purple Firmament Palace, he had to find the whereabouts of the next type of Profound Essence Qi. Without the Profound Essence Qi, he couldn't raise the level of the Regal 9 Profound Art. He still couldn't break through to a higher realm. Now that the Regal 9 Profound Arts had merged with a large amount of Profound Arts, his absorption speed was much faster than before. This only increased his cultivation speed, but it couldn't help him break through the bottleneck. Yang Wu's thoughts were a bit far away. Wuhou Gang is already building. Unfortunately, the base hasn't been chosen yet. The location of the Heavenly Palace is pretty good, but Master definitely won't agree. I have to quickly find a place to take root. Chapter 13:16. The Heavenly Palace was located in the Heaven Domain mountain range. The outer hall had already been destroyed and was sealed in ice. The inner hall could not be entered without the Heavenly Palace token. Yang Wu returned to the Heaven Domain mountain range. Looking at the ice and snow, he felt very comfortable. He could not help but shout, "Heavenly Palace, I'm back!" Yang Wu landed. He hid his aura so that no one could discover his existence. Even if he stood in the ice and snow, the living beings nearby could not see him. He felt as if he had merged with the heaven and earth. Yang Wu did not stay for long. He activated the token and entered the inner hall of the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Palace was still in ruins and looked very bleak. It did not recover its former glory just because it had some people. After Yang Wu entered, someone immediately came to greet him. It was Jiang Ping. This guy was not bad looking. He had sword-like eyebrows and bright eyes. He was tall and straight. His slovenly appearance was full of evil. He had a weed in his mouth. He said with a hint of mockery, "You're willing to come back? I thought you forgot your identity as a disciple of the Heavenly Palace." "I didn't know you were a disciple of the Heavenly Palace," Yang Wu replied. Every time he saw Jiang Ping, this guy's strength increased greatly. He wondered if this guy was the same person or if another strong cultivator had transformed into him. Among his peers, Yang Wu's speed of improvement was unparalleled. Even Jin Qiu was far behind him. Jiang Ping seemed to be able to keep up. This was incredible. I am the head disciple of the Heavenly Palace. I will be the Palace Lord in the future. You mortals should submit to me, Jiang Ping said arrogantly. Yang Wu smiled coldly and said, "Who gave you such confidence? Do you believe that I will beat you to the ground right now? If you want to fight with me, I will accompany you anytime. But we have something to do now," Jiang Ping said seriously. "What is it?" "Wait until we fight." Yang Wu's eyes flashed fiercely. He shouted and attacked Jiang Ping. Yang Wu did not hold back when he attacked. He used the martial god's fist, and his domineering aura was unstoppable. Jiang Ping's reaction was very fast. He quickly dodged and shouted, "How can you be so unromantic? We are fellow disciples. Is it really okay to fight and kill as soon as we meet? If you don't want me to fight and kill, then hurry up and kneel down and call me senior brother. Perhaps I'll make things easier for you. You're going too far. Do you really think that this young master is afraid of you? Come on then." Yang Wu and Jiang Ping started fighting. Yang Wu, on the other hand, didn't use his full strength. He only used the combat power of a Grade 1 Celestial Rune Realm. He wanted to test out Jiang Ping's strength. His first-grade Star Rune Realm was comparable to an ordinary middle-grade Star Rune Realm. Sure enough, Jiang Ping was able to block it easily. This guy's speed was not ordinary. Therefore, Yang Wu raised his strength to the third-grade Star Rune Realm in one breath. He no longer held back and used the ability he used to fight against Jin Qiu, wanting to suppress Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping knew that Yang Wu was very strong. He kept retreating, not wanting to fight Yang Wu head-on. However, Yang Wu kept pressuring him, which made him angry. "Show me your true ability. Otherwise, you will fail miserably." Jiang Ping shouted and started to counterattack. Killing Wind Blade. Jiang Ping cultivated Wind Xianqi, and as his strength increased, his battle prowess also became more powerful. Boundless wind blades formed a storm and rushed towards Yang Wu. The power of the storm was not inferior to a grade 6 Star Rune Realm's combat power. Such combat power was already at the peak of the younger generation. Many experts of the older generation could not be compared to him. Jiang Ping was worthy of being in the top 10 of the Heavenly Dragon ranking. However, this kind of pressure was nothing to Yang Wu. Yang Wu kicked out with the Wind God's leg. A large amount of wind blades twisted and formed a tornado that collided with Jiang Ping's power. Boom! Boom! The two forces exploded and scattered, and many profound energy waves surged and splashed out. Yang Wu ignored these forces and continued to kick at Jiang Ping. With his third-grade Star Rune Realm strength, it was not difficult for him to fight against a high-level saint. Jiang Ping's combat power was not enough. Just as Yang Wu's attack was about to hit Jiang Ping, he retreated like a gust of wind. Wind path. Jiang Ping's perception was also shocking. He seemed to have turned into a gust of wind, moving faintly. Not only did he dodge Yang Wu's attack, but he also created countless Jiang Pings that attacked Yang Wu. At the same time, streams of astral energy pierced through the air. Jiang Ping's true strength was displayed. His cultivation had reached the 5th rank of the Astral Rune Realm. With his ability to fight above his level, he wasn't any weaker than an expert of the 8th rank. This was Jiang Ping's true strength. When Yang Wu saw Jiang Ping's combat power, his eyes twitched. He did not expect Jiang Ping to reach this step after coming out of the Saint Transformation Pool. Jiang Ping's opportunities were not inferior to his. "This is not enough," Yang Wu shouted, and the electric forks suddenly appeared, shrouding all of Jiang Ping's shadows within them, and brutally slaughtering him. Yang Wu had already reached the 4th-grade Star Rune Realm. His combat power was not inferior to Jiang Ping's. Yang Wu thought he could take down Jiang Ping. Who knew that Jiang Ping would give him another surprise? 3 Clear Sacred Art. Jiang Ping used his ultimate skill for the first time. This was the inheritance he had obtained, 1 Qi into 3 clear ones. Earth Fiend. Wind Blade. Astral Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire. They formed 3 different attacks. 3 Jiang Pings surrounded Yang Wu from different directions. The 3 different forces collided with Yang Wu's electric fork magnetic field. Many electric forks were shattered. The Earth Dragon surging from the ground was also shattered. Countless wind blades and astral fire were destroyed. At this point, it was time to see whose combat power was stronger. A hidden Earth Dragon rushed out from under Yang Wu's feet and swallowed Yang Wu. Jiang Ping endured the attack of the electric fork. He formed a seal with his hands and shouted, "Die!" The Earth Dragon had enough power to kill any high-level saint. Yang Wu felt a bit of pressure, but everything was within the scope of what he could bear. He swung his arm and directly smashed the Earth Dragon to pieces with brute force. "What other trump cards do you have? Just use them," Yang Wu said confidently. Today, he was going to beat Jiang Ping into submission. Just as he finished speaking, the 3 Jiang Pings disappeared. When they reappeared, they were in 3 different directions around Yang Wu. They were very close to Yang Wu. 3 talents formation. Just now, Jiang Ping had only used 3 different forces to attack. Now, the 3 of them worked together to form a formation. Once again, they unleashed an even more shocking combat power. It was enough to threaten even a top-level saint. The power of heaven, earth, and man formed an earth dragon, a wind dragon, and a fire dragon. They attacked Yang Wu crazily. "I don't believe you can withstand my ultimate attack," Jiang Ping secretly shouted in his heart, and released all of his power. The power of the stars continued to surge down, and the profound qi in the surroundings continued to support him, causing the entire place to be filled with dust and dirt. With Jiang Ping's current battle prowess, he was no weaker than Yang Wu and Jin Qiu when they first emerged from the Saint Transformation Pool. He might even be stronger. Jiang Ping's original body was corporeal, not incorporeal. This was the difference between the three purities Saint technique. 3 against 1, he was almost invincible in the same realm. This was the reason why Jiang Ping's strength was far superior to others. Others were cultivating alone, but he was cultivating with 3 people. It had a multi-layered effect. This was the first time Yang Wu clashed with Jiang Ping so fiercely. After sensing his opponent's combat power, he also increased his combat power to the same level as his opponent. He threw out a series of overbearing barbaric fists. Barbarian horse fist. Barbarian leopard fist. These 2 moves were fast against fast. Unfortunately, they could not stop the power of the 3 talents formation. Yang Wu had no choice but to use the doppelganger technique. He split into 9 and the 9 figures worked together to destroy Jiang Ping's 3 talents formation. Bang bang! One punch after another, the invincible power sent the 3 Jiang Pings flying away, coughing up blood. Yang Wu was invincible in the same realm. After Jiang Ping was heavily injured, he ran away in a sorry state. His speed was unparalleled. He was confident that he could escape from anyone. Moreover, he had the talent of teleportation. It was the best way to escape. This time, how could Yang Wu let him escape? Without waiting for Jiang Ping to use his full strength, the area was completely sealed. Yang Wu's power was comparable to the connecting heaven realm. His majestic aura was shocking. Before Jiang Ping could escape, he was punched in the heart. His body fell down. Pooh! Jiang Ping vomited blood again. The other 2 doppelgangers quickly merged with him. He did not dare to run anymore. He looked at Yang Wu and said with difficulty, "We are from the same sect. Killing each other is taboo." Yang Wu looked in front of Jiang Ping and said with a smile, "Since we are from the same sect, do you know how to address me?" Jiang Ping's face stiffened. Soon, he smiled and said, "Jiang Ping greets senior brother Yang Wu. In the future, you will be the chief disciple of the Heavenly Palace. Jiang Ping will follow your lead. In the future, you can stay by my side. I don't want you to harm innocent women," Yang Wu replied. "Senior brother, I am not that kind of person. They are all willing," Jiang Ping explained. Without waiting for him to finish, Yang Wu interrupted him and said, "No need to explain to me. In short, if I hear that you harm innocent women again and ruin the reputation of the Heavenly Palace, I will castrate you. I mean what I say." Yang Wu released a powerful aura. When Jiang Ping saw it, he shivered. Yang Wu's words were not empty words. He would definitely do what he said. Jiang Ping lamented in his heart, "The future will not be easy." "Senior brother, do you know why I am here?" Jiang Ping changed the topic. "Why?" Yang Wu asked. "Martial Uncle Haren told me to wait for you here. He said that you can bring me to the Heavenly Dragon Palace and take back the inheritance that belongs to the Heavenly Palace." Chapter 13-17. Like the Fiend Taming Hall, the Heavenly Dragon Palace was a residence of the Heavenly Palace. There used to be a total of 99 palaces and halls in the Heavenly Palace. After the Great Change, the palaces and halls were either destroyed or disappeared. Many inheritances were also lost. The Heavenly Dragon Palace was one of the strongest palaces in the Heavenly Palace. It belonged to the Heavenly Dragon Palace's Palace Master. The Heavenly Dragon Palace's Palace Master was one of the strongest representatives of the Heavenly Palace. He was an Overlord-class expert. Even such an expert had fallen, and no one knew where his palace had gone missing. Now that the Heavenly Dragon Palace had reappeared, some people had already received some news that they would snatch the Heavenly Dragon Palace's fortuitous encounter. Jiang Ping had heard this news from Hao Ren long ago. Unfortunately, He could not easily obtain the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritance by himself. Hence, he had no choice but to work with Yang Wu. In the past, Jiang Ping had obtained the 3 Pure Palaces' inheritance by luck. That was why he had such combat prowess. If he obtained the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritance as well, he was confident that he would be able to advance further. In the future, when he reached the Heaven Ascension stage, he would become an overlord. Yang Wu said sullenly, "The Heavenly Dragon Palace's location is incredibly dangerous. I feel that it is not appropriate to go and snatch the inheritance there now." Hao Ren had already told Yang Wu the location of the Heavenly Dragon Palace. Yang Wu did not head over immediately because the Heavenly Dragon Palace was located in the Forbidden Land, Dragon Gate Grotto. Dragon Gate Grotto was a famous land of danger in the Transcendence world. There was a slim chance of survival if one entered. Some people said that it used to be the territory of the Dragon Clan. After entering the Dragon Gate, one would become a true dragon. Others said that it was the entrance to the God Realm. After entering, one would be teleported to the God Realm or the Void Space, unable to return. No matter which legend it was not something that ordinary people could afford to offend. This was also the reason why Yang Wu did not immediately head to the Dragon's Gate Stone Cave to seize the Heavenly Dragon Palace. That is the Heavenly Dragon Palace. Rumor has it that the Heavenly Dragon Scripture and many of the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritances are left there. Are we just going to let it go? He paused for a moment before continuing, "If you don't dare to go, I'll go alone. Dragon Gate Grotto is a dead end." "I won't stop you," Yang Wu said with a shrug. "Then give me the Heavenly Dragon token," Jiang Ping said with a hint of anticipation. The Heavenly Dragon Order had already fallen into Yang Wu's hands, which was the reason why Jiang Ping was willing to wait here. With the Heavenly Dragon Medallion, Shao Chen would definitely be able to enter the Heavenly Dragon Palace smoothly. Safety would not be a problem. However, there was not only one Heavenly Dragon Medallion but a total of 3. Only by gathering all 3 Heavenly Dragon Medallions could one open the Heavenly Dragon Palace. The other factions had already obtained the other 2 Heavenly Dragon Medallions. With Yang Wu's medallion, they would be able to open the Heavenly Dragon Palace. Yang Wu shook his head and said, "There is no room for discussion. Just follow me properly. When I am ready, I will definitely make a trip to the Heavenly Dragon Palace." "I thought you weren't going." "The Heavenly Dragon Palace will definitely return to the Heavenly Palace. In that case, I'll wait." Yang Wu chatted with Jiang Ping for a while. After confirming that Jiang Ping was willing to stay by his side, he allowed Jiang Ping to treat his injuries. If Jiang Ping wanted to leave, Yang Wu would not stop him. After all, they were still fellow disciples. This relationship was not fake. At the same time, if Jiang Ping wanted to go to the Heavenly Dragon Palace, he would not leave until he achieved his goal. At the same time, Shao Chen learned from Jiang Ping that Hao Ren and Nan Nan had not returned to the Heavenly Palace. He could not help feeling disappointed. He still wanted to use his master's strength to intimidate the Purple Firmament Palace's people. Since Hao Ren was not here, Yang Wu planned to leave. Jiang Ping quickly said, "Senior brother, come with me." Yang Wu felt curious, so he followed Jiang Ping. He believed that Jiang Ping would not dare to play any trick. Soon, Yang Wu and Jiang Ping arrived before a damaged residence. Jiang Ping removed some of the concealment, revealing a rather shocking item. Yang Wu exclaimed, Could this be the demonic god cannon?" Before Shao Chen was an extremely magical cannon. Many sinister horns protruded from the cannon's body. The cannon's mouth was like a black hole that could swallow all auras. It could also erupt with boundless power. The cannon's frame was made of divine-grade materials and looked extremely mighty. Jiang Ping nodded repeatedly and said, "That's right. This is the demonic god cannon. It was once the Heavenly Palace's most frightening treasure. The last time Yang Wu came to the Heavenly Palace, he did not really search for any inheritances left behind. After he and Yu obtained some benefits, they left. Who would have thought that the heavenly palace would leave behind such a terrifying fellow? The demonic god cannon was not only made of materials but also all sorts of formations. As long as it was filled with enough demonic core energy, it could unleash an attack that could destroy gods. In the past, 8 demonic god cannons were made. Now, only 1 demonic god cannon remained. Furthermore, from the looks of it, something seemed to have happened to it. Otherwise, Jiang Ping would not have left it here. Yang Wu touched the demonic god cannon and sighed. This is a weapon of war. Yes. Unfortunately, the formation has been destroyed. If we want to restore it, we need to find a divine array master. I don't have the ability to find a divine array master, so I'll have to wait for you, Jiang Ping said. He sighed in his heart. Yang Wu got lucky. I hope he can really restore it and use it in the future. For such a destructive item, it's best not to restore it, Yang Wu said in a low voice. The demonic god cannon's power was terrifying. The more power it had, the more powerful it would be. Not only could it kill a heaven-reaching powerhouse, but it could also wipe out all life in an area. Senior, as long as we use it well, we can use it to deal with things that are difficult for the heavens or to protect ourselves. It's not like we're using it to destroy heaven and earth, Jiang Ping said. Just as he finished speaking, Yang Wu said seriously, You're right. Let's bring it back to the Yang clan. Let's see if the Xing clan dares to invade us in the future. Senior, this is an item from the Heavenly Palace, Jiang Ping reminded him. An item from the Heavenly Palace is mine. I can use it however I want. Do I need you to teach me? Yang Wu glared at Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping was speechless. He began to regret telling Yang Wu about the existence of the demonic god cannon. Yang Wu was prepared to put away the demonic god cannon, but he realized that it was not that easy. The demonic god cannon was imprisoned in this place, and without enough power, he could not move it away. This was also the reason why Jiang Ping had left it here. Big, 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 Yang Wu shouted, and his body continued to grow. After reaching a height of 100 zhang, he picked up the demon god cannon in one fell swoop. Jiang Ping stared at the scene and exclaimed, Is this guy from the giant race? When Yang Wu picked up the demonic god cannon, he was finally able to move it into the Qian Kuan space. Alright, leave this destructive item to me for safekeeping. I can't let it harm the world, Yang Wu said righteously. Jiang Ping wanted to vomit blood. He clearly said that he was going to take it back and leave it in the Yang family. Now he was saying it in such a dignified manner. What a hypocrite. Then, Yang Wu walked towards the other dilapidated halls. He planned to walk around and see what kind of inheritance the heavenly palace had left behind. Soon, he passed by a palace. There was a hanging array that emitted waves of light. Anyone who stepped in would be killed by the array. Jiang Ping explained, This is the 5 elements extermination array. Anyone who enters will be killed. Only those who study the Tao of arrays can obtain the inheritance here. Yang Wu didn't force his way in. After a while, he saw a bronze wall imprinted with a large hand. Each hand imprint contained an indescribable power. When Yang Wu looked at it, a terrifying palm energy slammed towards him. Yang Wu was the first to react, and he also threw a punch at him. Bang! Yang Wu's punch had destroyed the power of the hand seal, but his body was also shaken and was forced to retreat 10 feet. Jiang Ping was shocked again. This guy is really abnormal. The first time I faced the stone imprint, I was beaten to the point of spitting blood. Yang Wu stared at the palm imprint. It was as if he could see a heavenly powerhouse continuously attacking. The power of the palm imprint was incomparably terrifying, enough to split heaven and earth. After arriving here, Yang Wu understood that some of the heavenly palace's inheritances were still here. However, they weren't passed down in words, but instead imprinted with the power of will. Only those who could bear the power of will could obtain the inheritance. After arriving here, Yang Wu didn't plan to continue walking. He now had a lot of inheritances. The will and bloodline inheritance of the Yang family's ancestors were enough for him to digest. In addition, his master had given him the Sage and Jade Moon inheritances. Once he finished digesting them, it would be enough to support him to become stronger. If he wanted to comprehend these battle skills one by one, it would take a lot of time. When he had the time, he would come back and take a look at the inheritances here. Yang Wu decisively left. Jiang Ping didn't stay either. He had the 3 Pristine Palaces inheritance, and he only cultivated the other inheritances selectively. He also understood the principle of biting off more than he could chew. When Yang Wu and Jiang Ping came out, Yang Wu didn't summon the tribulation clouds. Instead, he took out the 4 Flood Dragon War Chariot. The 4 Flood Dragons were stone-shaped flood dragons. As long as a saint stone was inserted into them, they could fly. It was an ancient war chariot that was also part of the Heavenly Palace's inheritance. When Jiang Ping saw the war chariot, his eyes lit up. This war chariot is amazing. It's a godly tool for picking up girls. He didn't hesitate to jump into the war chariot, wanting to sit next to Yang Wu, who knew that Yang Wu would kick him aside. Drive the war chariot. Don't show any respect to your seniors. How am I supposed to drive it? Jiang Ping didn't understand. These stone flood dragons only look good when people drive them. Otherwise, how can there be any extravagance? Yang Wu said confidently. Jiang Ping was so angry that he clenched his teeth. Since he started cultivating, he had never suffered such humiliation. If not for the fact that he couldn't defeat Yang Wu, he would have stomped on Yang Wu's face. To think that he, a distinguished young master, had to put on airs. Did Jiang Ping really think that he was a servant? For the Heavenly Dragon Palace, I'll endure it. I'll endure it. Jiang Ping took a deep breath and jumped onto one of the stone flood dragons. Then, he said to Yang Wu, "Senior brother, why are you still not inserting the Saint Stone? What are you waiting for? Is there something wrong with your head? You are the driver. Of course, you are the one to insert the Saint Stone. I quit." Chapter 13:18. The 4 Flood Dragon War Chariot was a top-notch Saint-grade war chariot. As long as there were enough top-notch Saint Stones, it could explode with a speed comparable to a top-notch Saint. Although it couldn't be compared to the Thunder Tribulation Clouds, it was still faster than many battleships, war chariots, and flying shuttles. The level of a war chariot represented the level of a person's status. This 4 Flood Dragon War Chariot represented a noble status. Ordinary saints wouldn't dare to have any ideas about it. Although these 4 stone flood dragons were puppets, they could unleash extremely powerful combat strength. Ordinary saints wouldn't be able to deal with them. Jiang Ping was unwilling to give up. He quickly drove the war chariot and flew away. It was already embarrassing enough for him to be a war chariot driver. He actually had to pay Saint Stones for Yang Wu. He felt extremely sullen. However, he couldn't resist Yang Wu. Yang Wu was too violent. He would beat people up without saying anything. He was really bullying him because he was weak. Jiang Ping swore that after he obtained the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritance, he would definitely take revenge. Yang Wu looked at Jiang Ping driving the war chariot with satisfaction. He lay behind the war chariot and meditated. Only by constantly cultivating could he become stronger. Recently, his soul embryo had been getting stronger day by day. Once it reached the Great Success stage, he would enter the Heavenly Soul stage. Once he entered the Heavenly Soul stage, he would be able to cover heaven and earth with his soul and possess boundless power. He would also be able to reach the Soul Control Heart Sutra's 10,000-mile soul control state. In addition, Yang Wu had also gradually comprehended some tricks to the shape-shifting technique. He believed that it wouldn't be long before he could have various transformations. He already had a deep understanding of soul techniques. He couldn't wait to integrate the will of the Yang clan's ancestor and the inheritance that his master had passed to him. They were all insights on cultivation. Yang Wu had luckily cultivated the great success Saint Physique. However, it didn't mean that he could really unleash his combat strength to the extreme. After Yang Wu integrated their willpower and insights, he understood that after the level 7 celestial rune realm transformed into the Starlight Great Tao, he could borrow the Great Tao to continuously absorb the power of the stars. The more power of the stars descended, the greater the effect it would have on tempering his physique. Starlight sprinkled down from the sky, unceasingly falling on Yang Wu's body. He unceasingly poured the power of these stars into his meridians and acupoint. Each meridian was like a surging river, and each acupoint was surging with power. Meridians and acupoints were the two basic elements of cultivation. While they were growing stronger, the skin and flesh would also be nourished, becoming bigger and bigger. Only then would one's potential be greater. This power couldn't be compared to using the medicinal liquid to stimulate and temper, but the advantage was that it wouldn't harm the body. It could also temper some of the corners of the body. In an instant, the 7-star runes on Yang Wu's body transformed into 7-star dragons that coiled around his body, making him look incomparably noble and dazzling. Jiang Ping looked back and cursed in his heart, "Son of AB*TCH. His cultivation speed is so abnormal." Jiang Ping didn't delay any longer. He created 2 doppelgangers that landed on the other 2 stone dragons. He also worked hard to cultivate, not daring to be negligent. If the people who were with Yang Wu didn't cultivate, they would be left far behind by him. Talents are the process of unlocking the treasures of the human body. Now that I have the heart, soul, limbs, and other talents, if I want to unlock a new talent, I have to further stimulate my internal organs and find a unique point. Only then will there be a 1 in a million chance of awakening a talent. Yang Wu thought in his heart about continuing to explore the abilities of his talent. If anyone wanted to awaken a talent, they would have to rely on opportunities and luck. It was extremely difficult to awaken a talent on one's own. After Yang Wu cultivated the great success Holy Body, he always felt that his body's talents still had room to be explored. He could awaken a talent at any time. For example, his eyes and ears had abilities that weren't inferior to the first stage of an ordinary martial artist's talent. His vision would be very good, and his hearing would be very good. This was an ability that was better than a talent. It was also an ability that came with the strengthening of his physical body. Yang Wu decided to find a new talent. He attracted the power of the stars to his body. When the power entered his body, he looked at every corner of his body to find a unique point. He searched and finally found a unique meridian. This meridian couldn't store the power of the stars. It was relatively small, and compared to other meridians, it was still too lacking. Therefore, Yang Wu slowly guided his power into this nameless meridian and began to stimulate it. This meridian also had its own personality. No matter how Yang Wu stimulated it, it was indifferent. It was as if it didn't belong to Yang Wu's meridian. "I don't believe that you will be so disobedient." Yang Wu steeled his heart and guided more power into the meridian. Unfortunately, the meridian was almost broken, and he couldn't integrate the power of the stars. Yang Wu was forced to stop. He was afraid that if the meridian was destroyed, he would suffer a great loss. "Since it can't accept the power of the stars, I will try the immortal qi." Yang Wu cast his gaze on the strand of immortal qi in his dantian and began to guide the strand of immortal qi over. This immortal qi was in his dantian and the immortal peach tree. It was different and mysterious. Yang Wu always thought that it was born from the immortal peach tree. However, when the immortal peach tree grew, it didn't absorb it. He started to suspect that the origin of this immortal qi was extraordinary. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he thought, he couldn't understand what was going on. In any case, this immortal chi was the key to his immortal body. It could only be beneficial to him. He didn't care about it. When he saw little Hay again, he would have a good chat with it. After a wisp of immortal chi entered the meridian finally reacted. It seemed to become transparent. It was crystal clear like glass. It was very different from other meridians. Yang Wu felt something in his mind. It seemed that this meridian contained some kind of talent that was about to appear. Yang Wu couldn't wait to insert more immortal chi. There were no other changes to the meridian. It was transparent like a mirror. It could reflect everything. Illuminate the talent? Or is it transparent glass? Yang Wu opened his eyes and muttered to himself. Soon, he looked at his surroundings while activating the power of that meridian. Finally, he discovered the innate talent that this meridian contained. This innate talent was like a mirror that could reflect everything. Then, it would be branded in his mind, helping him to quickly comprehend. Yang Wu's face was filled with joy. Without any warning, he kicked Jiang Ping, who was riding on the stone dragon. He deliberately kicked Jiang Ping. It wasn't particularly fast or fierce. Jiang Ping sensed it and dodged. He shouted, "You're still coming? I suddenly have some enlightenment. Let's exchange a few blows," Yang Wu said to Jiang Ping. He seemed to be asking for Yang Wu's opinion. However, he had already attacked Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping had no choice. He could only exchange blows with Yang Wu. Jiang Ping also became ruthless. He directly used his full strength to avoid being beaten up badly by Yang Wu. Peach Blossom Eyes. Charming Peach Blossom Finger. This was Jiang Ping's talent. His eyes were filled with an indescribable light. It could make people fall into a gentle and soft state and unable to extricate themselves. At the same time, a finger light quietly shot out. The finger light dazzled the eyes and shot towards Yang Wu's heart. Jiang Ping was also ruthless. He looked like he wanted to shoot Yang Wu to death. When Jiang Ping attacked, Yang Wu didn't attack. Instead, he stared at Jiang Ping's moves, urging the innate talent of that meridian. He wanted to figure out whether it was the innate talent he had imagined. Yang Wu dodged continuously. Jiang Ping, on the other hand, attacked continuously. He didn't believe that he couldn't even touch Yang Wu's clothes. Storm Palm. Phoenix Dance. The palm power was like a storm. There were flames that turned into phoenixes. Colorful power continuously fell on Yang Wu. Jiang Ping still couldn't touch a single hair on Yang Wu. He couldn't help but curse, "I'm not playing anymore." Just as he stopped playing, Yang Wu suddenly attacked. Charming Peach Blossom Finger. A finger power full of confusion shot towards Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping was shocked. This was his attack technique, and it actually appeared on Yang Wu's body. He didn't hesitate to return the finger and blocked Yang Wu's finger. In the next moment, Yang Wu attacked again. A storm of palm power violently hit Jiang Ping. This was Storm Palm. F***ck, you stole my move. Jiang Ping cursed. Slap. As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Wu's palm slapped his face and sent him flying. "If you dare to curse again, I'll break your front teeth," Yang Wu said faintly. His move changed again. Phoenix Dance. He seemed to have turned into a phoenix. Carrying torrential flames, he attacked Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping was completely scared out of his wit. This was the move he had just used. How did Yang Wu learn it? By the time he came back to his senses, the flames had already engulfed him. The clothes on his body had been burned away, revealing his naked body. He covered his lower body in grievance and wailed, "I have a pure body. Senior brother, you must take responsibility for me." Yang Wu didn't continue. Instead, he returned to the chariot and said faintly, "Let's continue." He didn't pay attention to Jiang Ping. Instead, he carefully experienced this new innate ability. Celestial Moon Mirror Art. The innate ability of the meridians was like a celestial mirror. It could reflect any offensive martial skill. It was like imprinting the moon in the sky into the water, helping him to grasp the opponent's offensive martial skill. This was a high-level imitation technique. Perhaps he couldn't unleash the true essence of the opponent's battle skill. However, he could still display 70 to 80% of its power. This was quite impressive. It was easy to catch the opponent off guard. He could also grasp the opponent's weakness. This celestial moon mirror art was too impressive. Yang Wu was extremely excited. He didn't think that he would unintentionally unlock an unexpected innate ability. It was too useful for him. The Regal 9 profound arts can improve the mystical art. The celestial moon mirror art can imprint other people's battle skills. With these secret techniques, I can't dominate the Thousand Saints Assembly. I can't establish the powerful Marquis Gang. I can't just kill myself. Chapter 13-19. The Ghost Clan was one of the major clans in the transcendent world. They occupied the Ghost domain and dominated the region. The Ghost Clan mainly cultivated soul power. Their soul attacks were unparalleled in the world and were very difficult to deal with. They could easily create illusions and easily destroy the souls of living creatures. They could even cause living creatures to go berserk. This was an evil clan that many living creatures did not want to get close to. Humans and devils had always been at loggerheads. They often had friction with the Ghost Clan, but the two clans restrained each other more than the Devil Clan. The Ghost Clan guarded a region and constantly strengthened themselves. Their goal was not to invade the transcendent world, but to return to the Ghost domain. The Ghost domain was the domain that the Ghost Clan liked to live in. The ghosts that remained in the transcendental world were either survivors or living beings that had been abandoned. This ghost domain was full of Yin-Chi. It was dark and boundless, and the whistling sounds were extremely frightening. A 4-flood dragon war chariot quietly arrived at the edge of the ghost domain. There were 4 young people on the war chariot. 3 of them looked exactly the same, like triplets. The young man sitting at the back of the war chariot was very noble, like a dragon and phoenix among men. Were they not Yang Wu and Jiang Ping? I say, senior brother, why did you suddenly come to this gloomy place? Jiang Ping, who was riding the stone flood dragon, asked Yang Wu behind him. Yang Wu wiped away a trace of nostalgia and said, looking for an old friend. This is the Ghost Clan's territory. Senior brother still has such an old friend. Jiang Ping curled his lips. Humans naturally did not have a good impression of the Ghost Clan, and vice versa. Don't talk nonsense. Let's go in and take a look. Yang Wu was too lazy to explain to Jiang Ping. If we rashly barge in like this, a bunch of big and small ghosts will rush out to eat us. Jiang Ping responded. You're right. Of course we have to eat the food that's delivered. Suddenly, a gloomy voice sounded. This voice was like a cold wind blowing, chilling to the bone. Little ghost, don't pretend. Hurry up and call your old ghost out. We brothers want to barge into your ghost domain. Jiang Ping looked in a direction and responded forcefully. Who do you think you are? How dare you call us lords? See if I don't eat you up first. That voice responded once again. The next moment, a chilly wind blew in Jiang Ping's direction. A little brat who doesn't know life from death dares to block my path? Go die! Jiang Ping shouted in disdain. He stretched out a palm and slapped towards the cold wind. Bang! Before that ball of Yin wind could even get close to Jiang Ping, it was directly smashed into pieces. The little ghost in the chilly wind didn't even have time to scream before it died. Yang Wu could see a mass of black fog disappear between heaven and earth. It was the body of an imp. Senior brother, are you really going in? The small ghosts and big ghosts here are hard to deal with. There are also some flesh-eaters. Once you meet them, it will be troublesome. Which ghost region is your old friend in? Why don't you think of a way to get him to come out? Jiang Ping turned around and said. In the past, he had also come to this place for an adventure. In the end, he was forced to flee in a sorry state by those old ghosts. I don't know where he is either. I haven't contacted him for many years. Yang Wu sighed. Then we can only catch a few old ghosts and interrogate them. Tell me about the situation in the ghost domain first. We'll plan before we act. We're already here and you're still planning before acting. Senior brother, you're playing with me. The ghost domain was the same as the other realms. It was divided into many different territories. There were Hungry Ghost Clan, Flesh-Eating Ghost Clan, Illusory Ghost Clan, Ghost Emperor Clan. Different ghost clans had different talent. The only thing they had in common was that their soul force was exceptionally strong. Yang Wu's trip this time was to find Lei Zhongjuan. He didn't know which ghost clan the other party had entered. In the past few years, Lei Zhongjuan had never contacted him. He didn't know if the other party had betrayed him or not. He said that he would bring Lei Zhongjuan with him to the Purple Firmament Palace. Lei Zhongjuan also wanted revenge. Naturally, he didn't want to miss this opportunity. He was afraid that Lei Zhongjuan had already adapted to his identity as a ghost and didn't want to take revenge. Or perhaps he had already died in the ghost domain. Through Jiang Ping's analysis, Yang Wu felt that Lei Zhongjuan was most likely to go to the Ghost Emperor clan. The so-called Ghost Emperor clan was the royal clan of the Ghost clan. They occupied a large territory. Moreover, their appearance was similar to that of the human race. Normally, ghost clans in human form would join the Ghost Emperor clan. With a direction in mind, the two of them started to move. They headed in the direction of the Ghost Emperor clan. Although Yang Wu and Jiang Ping were skilled and daring, they didn't dare to travel through the Ghost clan's territory openly. They restrained their auras and isolated their life force to avoid being discovered by the Ghost clan. They were very powerful. After restraining their auras, they avoided a lot of trouble. Yang Wu was finally able to see the living conditions of the Ghost clan. They all had different appearances. Some were like trees, some were like rocks, and some were like ferocious beasts. They were all in the form of bodies. Occasionally, they would let out whistling sound. Their ferocious facial features were changing. It was indeed very frightening. They swallowed the Qi of heaven and earth to grow. The denser the Qi, the more ghosts there would be. They would also fight with each other. They would swallow each other's bodies to strengthen themselves. They saw an old ghost swallow thousands of ghosts in one breath. This was an old ghost that had reached the minor saint realm. The old ghost's soul energy fluctuation was very strong. Its sensing range was also very wide. If Yang Wu and Jiang Ping weren't much stronger than the old ghost, they would have been discovered by him. In the Ghost Clan's territory, it wasn't easy for them to hide completely. While they were moving quickly, they encountered the Illusion Ghost Clan. The Illusion Ghost Clan didn't have legs. Only their upper body floated. They liked to wander around in groups, looking for otherworldly items to swallow. When they saw Yang Wu and Jiang Ping, they immediately cried out in alarm. "Some humans have sneaked into our territory. They brought food. Eat them." Huff, huff, their yang qi is very strong. Absorbing yang to nourish yin. Great. The Illusion Ghost Clan swarmed forward and created illusions to create trouble for Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. However, these illusion ghosts were too weak. Yang Wu didn't even have to do anything. They were burned to death by Jiang Ping. This time, they were in big trouble. The Ghost Clan's territory hated the appearance of extreme yang energy the most. The firepower was so shocking that it attracted a large number of ghosts to attack. The army of ghosts stopped killing each other and chose to unite against the outside world. In their opinion, swallowing Yang Wu and Jiang Ping, two yang bodies, was equivalent to cultivating for decades or even centuries. In fact, these ghosts were also the best nourishment for Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. They had yin bodies, which were good for nourishing their souls. When Jiang Ping was killing these ghosts, he took the opportunity to absorb a large number of ghost spirits to replenish the power of his soul. The side effects of absorbing ghost spirits by force were obvious. It could easily cause damage to one's soul or make it impure. It was not good for the purity of one's soul, and was not good for increasing one's strength. Jiang Ping obviously didn't have such concerns. He must have a secret technique to purify the power of these ghost spirits. Yang Wu didn't hold back either. His ability to devour the ghostly spirits was even more excessive than Jiang Ping's. 2/3 of the ghostly spirits that were scattered throughout the world were devoured by him. The remaining was something that he deliberately allowed Jiang Ping to absorb. Otherwise, Jiang Ping would have gotten even less. Senior brother, take it easy. This ghost spirit power will corrode the soul. Jiang Ping didn't forget to remind Yang Wu. I'm your senior brother. If you're not afraid, what do I have to be afraid of? Yang Wu replied. Jiang Ping was so angry at Yang Wu that his teeth hurt. This defeat was really a defeat for the rest of his life. He had to turn the tables and defeat Yang Wu. He also wanted to be Jiang Ping's senior brother. They had caused such a big commotion that a ghost saint had appeared. Humans, are you trying to start a war between the two races? A hungry ghost saint carried a bone spear and shouted. This hungry ghost saint's body was bloated, but his speed was very light. His body was full of yin qi, and he was standing on a ghost. He was a mid-level ghost saint. This ghost body's strength isn't weak. Jiang Ping revealed a look of greed. He wanted to rush forward but was stopped by Yang Wu. Yang Wu looked at the ghost saint and cupped his hands. We have no intention of being enemies with your race. It's just that you treat us as enemies. The hungry ghost saint stuck out his long tongue and licked it. You humans are full of yang qi. Not only do the little ghosts want to eat you, but even I want to eat you. Come and have a taste, Jiang Ping said aggressively. No. If you dare to come, then you must have something to rely on. I'm not that stupid. The hungry ghost saint replied. He then said, This is the territory of our hungry ghost tribe. Why don't you two come to our place as guests? We can have a good chat if there is anything. Forget it, we are just passing by. As long as you tell us the direction of the Ghost Emperor tribe, it will be fine. Yang Wu refused. You want to go to the Ghost Emperor tribe? Do you have a Ghost Emperor token? The hungry ghost saint asked in surprise. Jiang Ping rushed to answer. If we had a Ghost Emperor token, then you little ghosts wouldn't dare to bully us. Hee, so you don't have a Ghost Emperor token. Then it's easy. The hungry ghost saint licked his lips and laughed. Let's go, Yang Wu said without hesitation. In the next moment, he had already flown away. The hungry ghost saint stopped in front of Yang Wu and said, Why are you in such a hurry, honored guest? We haven't received you yet. Put away your disgusting face. Do you believe that I won't kill you first? Yang Wu said with a ruthless aura. He had already sensed the hungry ghost saint's intentions. The other party was waiting for the army to arrive. Without waiting for the hungry ghost saint to reply, Jiang Ping had already attacked from the side. A storm of power flew towards the hungry ghost saint. Whoosh whoosh. The hungry ghost saint didn't expect Jiang Ping to attack just like that. The storm's power twisted off a small part of his saint body, causing him to cry out in pain. Damn human race, I will definitely eat you. The hungry ghost saint roared and waved the bone weapon in his hand. The power of yin qi rushed towards Jiang Ping's soul. This was an attack aimed at the soul. Ghost Lake, you can't eat alone. We are coming. Another hungry ghost saint's voice rang out. Chapter 1320. This was the territory of the hungry ghost tribe. Once a hungry ghost saint appeared, more hungry ghost saints would appear. In the blink of an eye, 8 more hungry ghost saints appeared. The strongest among them was a high-level Saint Realm hungry ghost. The larger the physique of these hungry ghosts, the more powerful they were. They were terrifying fellows who had devoured large amounts of otherworldly items to grow. Surrounded by these hungry ghost saints, Yang Wu and Jiang Ping were not surprised at all. They were still discussing how to deal with them through voice transmission. Should we kill them or not? Jiang Ping asked Yang Wu. My goal is to find someone, not to start a massacre. If we turn this place upside down, I'm afraid it will be too troublesome, Yang Wu replied. No matter what kind of trouble it is, they are here. Let me kill them first, Jiang Ping replied. He turned into a gust of wind and attacked the hungry ghost saint. These hungry ghost saints were especially good at hunting humans. They did not wait for Jiang Ping to come over and had already attacked. Said the hungry ghost saint. Long tongues swept towards Jiang Ping and Yang Wu like divine weapons. These tongues appeared to be solid, but they were actually condensed from ghost qi. This ghost qi was the most yin qi. It was not something that ordinary people could resist. Once touched, they would tremble all over and their blood would not flow smoothly. In the worst case, their bodies would become stiff and unable to move. They could only be slaughtered by the hungry ghost saint. Jiang Ping was not afraid of the yin qi. He turned into a flaming phoenix and attacked. A flaming sword appeared in his hand and he slashed at the hungry ghost saints. The phoenix danced. A burst of intense fire formed a prairie fire, incinerating many tongues. This annoying power. Increase the power and extinguish him, the hungry ghost saint in the lead roared. Gusts of yin qi swept over and suppressed the power of the phoenix fire. Just when they thought they had captured Jiang Ping appeared behind the two hungry ghost saints and slashed out with his flaming sword, cutting the two hungry ghost saints in half. Jiang Ping sneered, "Who do you think you are? How dare you be so arrogant in front of this young master? Become this young master's soul food." Jiang Ping's sword skills were also quite shocking. He had produced a sword Dao, which was the phoenix sword Dao. Every sword slash was like the cry of a phoenix, and it was also like a phoenix dancing in the air, drowning the hungry ghost saint in front of him. On the other side, 3 hungry ghost saints also charged towards Yang Wu. After the hungry ghost path appeared, disgusting crimson tongues covered the entire area. If a timid cultivator were to face these tongues, their legs would definitely go soft. How could they even think about fighting? Yang Wu was skilled and bold. His strength was astonishing. Naturally, he was not afraid of this. He raised his hand and slapped it directly. Bang! Bang! These tongues were directly smashed into pieces. Magic Shadow Needle. God-beating whip. Yang Wu's fighting soul rushed out, and the magic shadow needle pierced towards these hungry ghost saints. He also held the God-beating whip and attacked the other party. Yang Wu did not move. He wanted to temper his fighting soul in battle. One of the hungry ghost saints was pierced by the magic shadow needle and immediately cried out in pain. At the same time, the God-beating whip struck, and his ghost soul was directly scattered. The God-beating whip specialized in attacking souls. It lashed out again, and the other 2 hungry ghost saints did not even have the chance to block it. Their strength was still much weaker than Yang Wu's fighting soul. The original hungry ghost saint did not even have the chance to exchange a blow, and was destroyed. The scattered ghost soul power wanted to condense again, and rebuild the ghost body. Unfortunately, the hungry ghost saint in the lead pounced over and swallowed them all. Haha, I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Let me increase my strength. The hungry ghost saint roared, and his body grew bigger again. The aura of a top-tier ghost saint swept out in all directions. Not only did this hungry ghost saint not save his companions, he even swallowed his companions' ghost souls to increase his strength. This was the cruelty of the ghost race. Yang Wu did not stop him. Instead, he calmly watched. He waited for the other party to finish leveling up. In his heart he thought, the ghost Dao is not that simple. After the hungry ghost saint finished leveling up, he raised his hand and grabbed at Yang Wu. Countless ghost qi formed a huge claw that descended on Yang Wu's head. Yang Wu raised his hand and directly smashed it. If you have any ultimate skills, quickly use them. You only have one chance. Yang Wu calmly looked at the hungry ghost saint and said. The hungry ghost saint roared, "Then I will let you see what a ghost is." 10,000 ghosts devour. A terrifying ghost qi formed into incomparably terrifying ghosts. There were small ghosts, big ghosts, and also old ghosts. They came from the ground or from the air, and directly pounced on Yang Wu, wanting to eat him. This was a soul attack, but it was also an illusion. At the same time, it carried a fatal attack. Yang Wu's war soul held the god-beating whip and crazily swung it. One ghost after another was scattered. Unfortunately, there were too many of these ghosts. They had already pounced on his body and were devouring his flesh and yang qi. The spiritual and physical saint attacks are indeed quite powerful, Yang Wu said as the heart fire floated on his body. In an instant, the ghosts on his body were burned to death. In addition, he also pointed at the hungry ghost saint. The power of the divine flame was too terrifying. How could the hungry ghost saint dare to face it? He let out a strange cry and quickly ran away. Unfortunately, no matter how he ran, the power of this finger followed him like a shadow and quickly caught up to him. His body exploded. Roar. A sorrowful roar that came from the heart was heard by all the ghost race in a radius of 10,000 miles. Not good, let's go. Yang Wu cried out in alarm and quickly fled in a certain direction. Jiang Ping was absorbing the ghost. When he heard Yang Wu's cry, he also ran and exclaimed, "Senior brother, wait for me." In the next moment, he turned into a gust of wind and quickly chased after them. Suddenly, a shocking cloud of Yin-Chi rolled over like a dark cloud. A huge ghost claw furiously clawed in the direction of Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. This was a ghost that had reached the god realm. Otherwise, it would not have such an imposing aura. Jiang Ping fled a little slower. Just as he was about to be caught by the ghost claw, he instantly split into three and fled in different directions. The ghost claw grabbed empty air. The ghost claw swept towards Yang Wu again and a voice rang out, "A puny human dares to trespass into my race. You really don't know what's good for you." Just as his voice fell, his ghost claw was directly cut off by a sword light. Moreover, a shocking sword intent slashed towards the dark cloud. The sword light was abundant and the sword chi was astonishing. It broke the dark cloud apart. The god realm hungry ghost let out a miserable cry. It was obvious that it had been severely injured. Taking advantage of this moment, Yang Wu called out to Jiang Ping and quickly fled in a certain direction. Just now, it was Yang Wu who had taken out the Big Dipper sword to injure the hungry ghost. Otherwise, if they had been entangled by the Ghost Clan and more Ghost Clan experts had appeared, it would have been difficult for them to escape. Yang Wu and Jiang Ping fled 1,000 miles. They quickly retracted their auras and carefully hid, not daring to expose themselves. "We can't go on like this. Sooner or later, we'll be killed by them first," Jiang Ping said somewhat anxiously. "Yes, we have to think of a way," Yang Wu said seriously. He then asked, "What good plan do you have?" "What good plan can I have?" "Disguise as ghost." Jiang Ping spread out his hands. "Disguise as ghost?" Yang Wu was stunned. "You don't know about that. Make yourself look like a ghost and absorb some Yin-Chi. As long as you conceal yourself well, you won't easily expose yourself." Jiang Ping replied proudly. "That's a good idea. But how do we absorb the ghost chi? Isn't it easy to absorb the ghost chi? Use your soul. Watch me." After Jiang Ping said this, the soul in the god's court began to breathe in and out. The ghost chi surged towards him and wrapped around him. It felt gloomy, as if he was a ghost creature. Yang Wu looked at how Jiang Ping did it, and soon he understood the principle behind it. He operated the soul tactics to absorb the Yin-Chi in the surroundings. His soul force swept out and integrated into the Yin-Chi, consolidating the Yin-Chi and not letting it dissipate. If he was really immersed in the Yin-Chi, it would be difficult for the ghost race to distinguish whether he was a human or a ghost. "You learn quite quickly. That's about it," Jiang Ping said. "It's not enough," Yang Wu muttered to himself. The Yin-Chi covering his body began to change. Jiang Ping watched Yang Wu's change. His eyes widened and his mouth opened so wide that a fist could be stuffed in. "You can do this?" At this time, The yin qi covering Yang Wu's body changed into the appearance of a hungry ghost. It didn't look exactly like one, but it was 70 to 80% similar. It was even harder to distinguish between the real and the fake. It was no wonder Jiang Ping was so surprised. Yang Wu's appearance was enough to walk unhindered among the hungry ghosts. He didn't have to worry about his identity being discovered. How can I be your senior brother if I don't have some skills? This time, it was Yang Wu's turn to be proud. How did you do it? Jiang Ping asked. It's a secret. Senior brother, my good senior brother, you brought me to this damned place. Do you have the heart to see me die here? Hurry up and teach me. Let me become like you. It's safer. When you treat me as your senior brother, I will naturally pass it on to you. In my heart, you are already my senior brother. You are the head disciple of the heavenly palace and the future palace lord. I swear to follow you. Then let's talk about it when we find the person. Yang Wu being able to turn into a hungry ghost was naturally due to the miraculous, shape-shifting technique. The yin qi here was very heavy. Using the power of the soul to condense the yin qi and transform into a hungry ghost, it was twice the result with half the effort. The shape-shifting technique was very miraculous. Yang Wu definitely wouldn't teach it to Jiang Ping so easily. Unless Jiang Ping really submitted to him one day, he wouldn't consider this problem. After they disguised themselves as ghosts, they wouldn't swagger around here. Maybe they would meet some special ghosts who would see through their identity. The ghost realm was not small. Continuing to look for people like this was no different from looking for a needle in a haystack. They had to change their method. Yang Wu decided to bring some ghost race people over to control them, and then find out more about Lei Zhongjuan. Yang Wu didn't know that Lei Zhongjuan had already become famous among the ghosts. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so troublesome. Chapter 13:21. It was easy for Yang Wu and Jiang Ping to catch a few ghosts. However, after controlling the ghosts, they didn't get the information they wanted. The only thing they got was the location of the Ghost Emperor tribe, which made it easier for them to travel. As they went deeper, the ghost aura became thicker and thicker. They didn't dare to crazily absorb the ghost aura here, as they were afraid that it would affect their soul's emotions, which would be detrimental to their soul's growth. It wasn't easy for non-ghosts or otherworldly items to absorb the ghost aura. Once they absorbed it, it would cause all kinds of negative emotions which could lead to chi deviation. Yang Wu had the Black Demon Thunder Orb in the Divine Palace. After the ghost aura and yin aura entered it, it would be refined, leaving only a trace of pure yin aura for his soul to absorb. This was also the reason why he could ignore the ghost aura and yin aura. Jiang Ping also had a special method to ignore the ghost aura and yin aura, but he didn't dare to absorb too much. In the ghost race's territory, there were not only different kinds of ghost race, but also the corpse race, the demonic sound clan, the Death Star clan, and other races that absorbed yin aura. In addition, there were many extreme yin items growing in these places, which were also very attractive to alchemists. On the way, Yang Wu also collected some otherworldly items that the ghost race didn't care about. These otherworldly items' levels weren't high enough, but he could use them well to make full use of them. After finding Lei Zhongjuan, I will collect a batch of high-level otherworldly items. Yang Wu made up his mind. At this time, they passed by a continuous yin mountain range, which was occupied by many otherworldly items. They were still fighting fiercely. The hungry ghost race was fighting with the demonic sound clan. The demonic sound clan looked very strange. They were translucent like ghosts floating in the air. However, there was a big difference between them and ghosts. Their bodies were very long, and they could twist and turn at any time. They were creatures that could hide and assassinate. The two races were fighting over the blooming dark yin flower. The dark yin flower was a sacred-level spirit flower, which was very rare. It wasn't easy to find even in the ghost realm. No wonder the two races were fighting with all their might. Senior brother, Let's wait for both of them to be injured and absorb some of their soul energy. Jiang Ping transmitted his voice to Yang Wu. Without waiting for Yang Wu to reply, a hungry ghoul discovered their existence and cried out in alarm, "Lord Guiqi, quickly come and support us." Yang Wu's appearance had taken on the appearance of the hungry ghost he had encountered at the beginning. Clearly, the other ghosts had recognized him. "All right, this lord will help you." Yang Wu used soul voice to speak in a hoarse voice, then quickly rushed towards the two groups of living beings. Hungry Ghost said. In the next moment, Yang Wu displayed the astonishing Hungry Ghost path, giving Jiang Ping a great fright. He cried out in surprise in his heart, "That works too? Is there any justice in this world?" Yang Wu's Ghost Lake appearance was already frightening enough, but he could also use the Hungry Ghost Dao. This was too heaven-defying. This was the magical part of Yang Wu's Immortal Moon Mirror technique. It could imitate any martial Dao. A blood-red tongue swept towards the Yin ghosts, directly twisting them into balls of Yin Qi. There was no way they could withstand a single blow. The ones fighting over the underworld flowers were only some small saint-level living beings. The strongest one was only an early saint-level living being. In Yang Wu's eyes they were nothing. After Yang Wu entered the fray, the Yin ghosts scattered and didn't dare to stay any longer. Many thanks for Lord Guiqi's help. The hungry ghoul race's living beings stepped forward and said gratefully, Yang Wu coldly snorted and directly put away the underworld flowers. The hungry ghoul race's living beings didn't dare to make a sound. If they dared to make a sound, they would probably be swallowed by the ghost lake. "You can't even eat a few Yin ghosts. You guys are a disgrace to my race," Jiang Ping sinisterly said from the side. The hungry ghoul race's eyes landed on Jiang Ping. Their ghost faces revealed a strange expression. This guy didn't look like a member of their race. One of the hungry ghouls went up and sniffed Jiang Ping's body. Jiang Ping took a few steps back and shouted, "How dare you? You're not a lord of my race," the hungry ghoul said with certainty. Just as Jiang Ping was about to start a massacre, Yang Wu said, "He's a mutated guy under my control. Don't mind him." The hungry ghouls didn't suspect him. Guiqi was very powerful. It was reasonable for him to control some living beings. "Have you guys heard of a guy called Lei Zongjuan?" Yang Wu asked the hungry ghouls. The hungry ghouls' faces were filled with confusion. It was obvious that they hadn't heard of it before. Yang Wu was very disappointed. He brought Jiang Ping along and continued on his journey. "Scared this baby to death. These fellows' senses are so sharp. I've already disguised myself like this, so how could they still tell that I'm not a ghost?" Jiang Ping patted his chest and said, "Who told you to talk too much?" Yang Wu rolled his eyes and said, "Isn't their senior brother here? How could they dare to cause any trouble?" Jiang Ping flattered. After pausing for a bit, he then said, "Senior brother, for your big matter, you should teach me the disguise technique. I promise I won't teach it to anyone else." Yang Wu changed the topic and said, "I'm planning on doing something big." "What do you want to do? Don't scare me." Jiang Ping hesitated a bit and said, "It'll be a waste of my time like this. I'll disguise myself as Lei Zongjuan and test the ghost races higher up. I'll see if they know of his existence. You stay on the side and watch." After Yang Wu said this, he began to recall Lei Zongjuan's appearance. The Yin Qi on his body changed and his appearance slowly changed into Lei Zongjuan's appearance. His true body didn't change, but there was an extra layer of Yin Qi and soul energy that wrapped around his true body. From the outside, it looked like Lei Zongjuan. Once the Yin Qi scattered, his true appearance could be seen. This was the power of the 1,000 transformations technique. Jiang Ping looked at Yang Wu's transformation with envy. Yang Wu openly walked around and headed towards a place with dense Yin Qi. He was looking for the ghost race's big guy. In the Yin mountain range, waves of Yin Qi surged like fog. Gusts of Yin Qi whistled through the air. In a place like this, Even the stars' energy would be cut off, and the xian qi of heaven and earth would be extremely scarce. To the human race, it would be greatly suppressed. Jiang Ping didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. He retracted his aura to the extreme and silently followed beside Yang Wu. As Yang Wu walked, he absorbed the yin qi around him. Souls liked yin qi because it could strengthen their souls. The immortal immortality peach tree also needed the nourishment of yin qi. It was also crazily devouring yin qi to replenish its yin qi. Only by combining yin and yang could it grow quickly. The sacred mandala flower could also absorb yin qi. It was an evil creature, so it liked all kinds of evil auras. Because of this, Yang Wu's entire body was covered in yin qi, causing a large commotion. Some of the small ghosts and big ghosts nearby didn't dare to get close after sensing it. They even stayed far away. In their eyes, once they got close, they would die. After entering the Yin mountain range, there were even more Yin creatures. Yang Wu killed these Yin creatures and absorbed all their Yin qi. This was how the ghosts survived. The strong preyed on the weak. After Yang Wu caused a commotion, a big guy appeared. TSK. Who dares to behave so atrociously in my territory? A big-headed ghost appeared and sneered. Yang Wu wasn't polite with the other party. His great sorrow hand shot out from a distance. Countless yin qi was pulled, and fiercely covered the big-head ghost. The big-headed ghost was a mid-level ghost saint. When it saw this move, it was extremely frightened. It quickly fled, but it was still smashed into pieces. The Hand of Mercy was a quasi-god skill. Even if it was weakened, it still displayed shocking power. This move caused a part of the Yin mountain to collapse. Many of the Yin race's creatures were killed. Yang Wu accelerated his absorption of the Yin qi. The power of his soul was rapidly increasing. It was rare for him to come to the ghost realm. He had to earn enough. After he attacked, the big guys that appeared were even bigger. After Yang Wu killed a few saint-level creatures, a top-level saint-level ghost finally roared, "Prince of the Ghost Emperor tribe, why are you attacking us? I'm not the Ghost Emperor tribe's prince. You've got the wrong person." Yang Wu looked at the seven-eyed ghost calmly. The seven-eyed ghost's 7 lantern-sized eyes were flickering with ghostly fire. It was very scary. "How can I be wrong?" the seven-eyed ghost replied. "I was lucky enough to see Your Highness during your coronation. If Your Highness wants to go out, you can tell me. There's no need to make such a big fuss." Now, Yang Wu was sure that the ghost knew where Lei Zhongjuan was. "Oh, since you've recognized me, then let's forget about it. But I need a lot of food." Yang Wu went with the flow. "Then, Your Highness, please come to my ghost palace for a chat. I'll prepare some food for you." The seven-eyed ghost replied politely. Yang Wu nodded and followed the seven-eyed ghost to his cave. The yin qi in the seven-eyed ghost's cave was very thick. Non-yin creatures couldn't withstand it. Jiang Ping didn't dare to get close. He could only wait from afar. He thought of something, and his face changed. He screamed in his heart, "Oh no, senior brother has been tricked." The seven-eyed ghost's ghost eyes were very powerful. Even if they used the yin qi to hide their identities, he would have seen through them. The seven-eyed ghost must have purposely led Yang Wu into the cave. Jiang Ping wanted to warn him, but it was too late. One after another, ghosts appeared around him and surrounded him. "You want to trick our Lord's eyes? You really don't know what's good for you." An old ghost dug out from the ground and grabbed Jiang Ping's feet. In the next instant, countless ghost creatures attacked at the same time. They wanted to tear Jiang Ping apart. "Get out of my way!" Jiang Ping was shocked. Phoenix flames surged around his body. The yang flames burned away the power of these ghost creatures. Jiang Ping didn't dare to stay. He turned around and quickly fled. "Senior brother, take care of yourself." Chapter 1322. The seven-eyed ghost was a top-level ghost saint. He was one of the overlords in the Famine mountain range. Yang Wu had openly started a massacre in his territory, which had indeed aroused his displeasure. However, when he saw Yang Wu's appearance, he was shocked. He thought that Yang Wu was the new prince of the Ghost Emperor tribe. However, when he took a closer look, he realized that this wasn't the case. This person was clearly not a ghost, but a young human. How dare he pretend to be the prince of the Ghost Emperor tribe? Therefore, he decided to make the best of his mistake and led Yang Wu to his cave. His cave wasn't simple. It had the 10,000 ghost formation. It could definitely keep this human here. When Yang Wu followed the seven-eyed ghost to the cave, he felt that something was wrong. The 7 eyes of the seven-eyed ghost were too bright. Perhaps he had already seen through Yang Wu's true identity. Now, he was just inviting Yang Wu into a trap. Yang Wu didn't panic. Even if it was a dragon's lair or a tiger's den, he still had to try. When Yang Wu entered the pitch-black cave, the seven-eyed ghost used his power to seal the cave. He cried out, "How dare you pretend to be a prince and barge into my territory? Human, you are really bold." Woo-woo. Suddenly, countless ferocious ghosts screamed. That horrifying voice spread to every corner. Yang Wu's divine court only felt that it was buzzing non-stop. He saw one terrifying ghost face after another. Some licked his face, some grabbed his heart, and some hugged his legs. It was as if he had entered a ghost hell. It was really scary. These ghost powers were all condensed from Yin Qi. They could corrode the nerves and flesh of living creatures. In the end, they would turn into a madman. They would also eat him until he died with only a pile of bones left. This was the terrifying part of the 10,000 ghost formation. No matter how bold Yang Wu was, he still felt a bit scared when facing these ghosts. "Lan Yao Ji!" Yang Wu shouted. The fire in his heart appeared and burned all of the evil spirits in an instant. The ghosts kept screaming and didn't dare to get close to Yang Wu. The seven-eyed ghost was not afraid because of this. He controlled the formation and sneered, "So you only dared to come to my ghost realm because of this flame. Wait until I take your flame, it will help my ghost fire advance to the next level." 10,000 ghosts spit fog. The 10,000 ghost boundary rippled, and the ghosts spat out clouds of ghost fog. The stench and poison wrapped around Yang Wu, and the extreme Yin power suppressed Lan Yao's power. When the Yin power reached a certain level, even the godly fire could be extinguished. Unfortunately, the Yin Qi here had not reached that level. Blue Demonis turned into a black tortoise and roared. Blue flames spread out and burned many ghosts. The Yin Qi was also burned away. Seven-eyed Ghost was shocked. Before he could use his next move, Blue Enchantress pounced at him. "Godly fire, it's definitely godly fire. Damn it!" Seven-eyed Ghost shouted and retreated. Ghost fire shot out from his 7 eyes to block Blue Enchantress' attack. Ghost fire was also a type of extreme Yin fire. Its level was not low, but it could only submit in front of Blue Enchantress. Seven-eyed Ghost retreated to the depths of the cave. The formation moved again, and waves of Yin power shot out, filling the entire cave. The cries of ghosts disappeared into Yang Wu's courtyard. The 10,000 ghost formation's illusion. This level of illusion could easily deal with a large number of saint-level creatures. If it was someone else who came in, they would most likely be doomed. Yang Wu's soul was very strong, and his mind was as firm as the sea. The soul-striking whip scattered the illusion, and Blue Enchantress burned away all of the Yin power. I asked for it." Seven-eyed Ghost wanted to cry. Originally, he had invited Yang Wu in to kill him. In the end, it looked like he asked for it. After Yang Wu took care of these problems, he sat down on a cold rock and looked at Seven-eyed Ghost. "Tell me everything about that prince, and I can consider letting you go." "Don't even think about it," Seven-eyed Ghost shouted. Ghost fire shot out from his 7 eyes at Yang Wu. Blue Enchantress's intelligence was already activated. Before the attack landed on Yang Wu, it had already blocked the 7 ghost fire. "It looks like you still want to struggle in vain," Yang Wu said faintly. He shot out the demonic shadow needles. 108 needles fiercely pierced into the 7 ghost eyes. Yang Wu attacked as quickly as he could. Seven-eyed ghost couldn't dodge at all. He screamed in pain from the demonic shadow needles, and ghost fire kept coming out of his eyes. Blue Enchantress pounced forward again, and caught all of the ghost fire. Explode! Seven-eyed ghost shouted, and his ghost body exploded. Yang Wu didn't think that he would be so decisive. He couldn't beat him, so he self-destructed. The terrifying power swept towards him, and the destructive power was very frightening. Black tortoise battle armor. Yang Wu's Xian Qi floated, and the 7 layers of saint robes turned into battle armor. The powerful defensive force deflected the incoming power. The cave started to collapse, and some of the ghost fire took the chance to escape. Yang Wu didn't relax at all. He quickly sealed all of the ghost fire. How could he let the pigeons in his hands escape? A few balls of ghost fire were caught together, and the 7-eyed ghost's appearance was revealed. He had lost a lot of power, but he was still alive. He didn't die from self-destruction. What are you trying to do? Our ghost race won't let you go. 7-eyed ghost shouted as he struggled. I'm going to refine you. Yang Wu bared his teeth and said. He began to refine 7-eyed ghost's power. This time, he would slowly refine the other party and extract the other party's memories. This was a delicate task. Memories weren't so easy to extract. This 7-eyed ghost was in for a tragedy. He wanted to trick 9-eyed ghost, but he ended up trapping himself. The ghost fire was swallowed by Blue Demoness, and the soul power left behind was refined by Yang Wu. He finally obtained some information that he wanted. Lei Zhongjuan was indeed in the Ghost Imperial tribe. He had become a prince and was doing very well in the ghost race. After Yang Wu confirmed this, he decided to go to the Ghost Imperial tribe. No matter whether 9-eyed ghost's intentions had changed, he had to go and take a look. Before that, Yang Wu searched through the ghost cave and found a ball of ghost fire. Blue Demoness had swallowed most of it, and only a small part of it was sealed in the sealing bead. With Yang Wu's strength, it was easy for him to condense a sealing bead. Ghost fire was a fire seed of extreme Yin. It was very suitable for women with extreme Yin bodies to absorb and refine. Yang Wu planned to give it to white-haired Demoness. She needed this ghost fire. Also, he dug out many items of extreme Yin from the ghost cave. Among them was a section of Yin search wood. It was the eye of a Yin formation. It was also an item that people who cultivated extreme Yin energy liked. Yang Wu planned to give it to Lu Ji. Lu Ji cultivated both Yin and Yang. He liked items of extreme Yin and extreme Yang. They could greatly increase his cultivation speed. Yang Wu tidied up a bit and left the ruined immortal cave. When he went outside, he found that Jiang Ping was nowhere to be seen. What an unreliable guy! Yang Wu sighed and ignored him. He quickly went to the Ghost Imperial tribe's territory. This time, Yang Wu didn't hide the Thunder Punishment Cloud. He summoned it and entered the Thunder Punishment Cloud to quickly fly to the Ghost Imperial tribe. Ordinary creatures wouldn't be able to discover the existence of the Thunder Tribulation Cloud. Moreover, Yang Wu had concealed all of his aura. If they couldn't find him, they would only think that he was a floating Thunder Tribulation Cloud. Those otherworldly items hated this kind of Thunder Tribulation Cloud, so they wouldn't bother to investigate. The Ghost Imperial Tribe. This was the Ghost Imperial Tribe. It was a powerful tribe with many ghost experts. They paid more attention to the purity of their ghost bodies. The purer the ghost body, the more solid it was. Otherwise, it would only be a second-class ghost body. It would be too easy for other ghosts to devour it. The Ghost Imperial tribe looked very similar to humans. The only difference was that they had many ghost tattoos on their bodies. They emitted a thick ghost aura that could exist between a solid and an ethereal body. Once they had a solid body and reached the Saint Realm, they would be crowned as the Prince of the Ghost Imperial tribe. They would receive the inheritance of the Ghost Imperial tribe and receive the territory of the Ghost Imperial tribe. After separating from Yang Wu, Lei Zhongjuan entered the Ghost Realm. At that time, he had just reached the Saint Realm. However, he had cultivated the Ghost Cultivation spell, which was the most authentic ghost cultivation spell of the ghost race. After entering the Ghost Realm, his strength increased by leaps and bounds. He also had the sole memory of his previous life. With the help of the power of thunder and lightning, he cultivated a ghost body that contained yang qi. This was something that only the Ghost Imperial tribe could do. Therefore, he was crowned as a prince and received a territory. The fief that Lei Zhongjuan obtained was a place that contained evil lightning. That place was difficult for ordinary ghosts to stay in, and those who stayed in that place were all extremely powerful ghosts as well as some other living beings. Lei Zhongjuan was born in the Purple Cloud Palace. He used to have the innate thunder body. Even after cultivating the ghost way, he only felt close to the power of thunder and lightning. He didn't have much fear of it. Therefore, he stayed in this territory and mixed in like a fish in water. Many years had passed, and his name had become more and more famous. More and more ghost clan creatures had joined his side, forming a powerful aura. He was also known as a rising star that could be compared to the three most powerful princes. As the saying goes, trees attract the wind. When Lei Zhongjuan was in the prime of his life, the second prince sent an army to conquer him. The second prince, Gui Wuchang, was an extremely powerful guy who had reached the peak of the Ghost Saint realm. He was as strong as the first prince. The other third prince was not weak either. The first three princes were called the Three Emperors. They represented the strongest saints of the ghost race. In the future, they would also be the main force of the sacred assembly of all races. Lei Zhongjuan's sudden rise from the ranks of the princes, who were originally ranked in the top 100, to the top 20. In just a few short years, this was an incredible achievement. At this moment, Lei Zhongjuan stood on top of a mountain. His robe fluttered in the wind. Ghost Qi was awe-inspiring. A group of ghosts followed behind him. He looked extremely domineering. The cultivator who almost became the lord of the Purple Cloud Palace had returned. 5 of the 8 great ghost saints under the second prince's command have come. You think too highly of this prince. Are you afraid? Lei Zhongjuan looked down at the army in front of him and said faintly, "No." Chapter 13:23. In Thunder Region. The Yin Qi in this place was very heavy, and there were many evil thunders. The creatures living in this place were not weak. Lei Zhongjuan was like a fish in water in this place. His ghost body had been completely formed, and it was not much different from when he was alive. Moreover, his body was strengthened by the Yin thunder. Now, his realm had risen to the realm of a high-level ghost saint, and he had recruited a group of powerful ghost clan creatures. Among them, there were even 2 ghost saints who had reached the peak level. This was the reason why the second prince, Gui Wuchang, had taken notice of him. Once Lei Zhongjuan became a top-level holy ghost, he would probably become one of the 4 emperors. This was something that the 3 emperors did not want to see. However, the 3 emperors had always been patient. Today, the second prince could not help but want to conquer Lei Zhongjuan and make him his right-hand man. Gui Wuchang's army was more than 1,000,000 people. Among them, 5 of the 8 ghost saints came. These 5 ghost saints were all at the peak level. This was the second prince's elite army, and it was enough to wipe out an area. Lei Zhongjuan and the other ghost clan creatures were shocked that the other side had sent such a large army. However, Lei Zhongjuan had his own way of winning people's hearts. He passed on some of the ghost body refinement chants to help the ghost saints around him reach a higher level and win their loyalty. Therefore, even if they only had an army of 500,000, they were not afraid of the other side. In the second prince's army, 5 ghost saints flew up. The leader, the 3-headed ghost saint, said faintly, "Your Highness 19th Prince, are you still going to resist? This is this prince's territory. Do you really think that this prince is easy to bully?" Lei Zhongjuan replied, The second prince admires your ability. Quickly surrender. In the future, we will work for the second prince together. Won't that be great? The three-headed ghost saint said. Why don't you join my army and work with me? You will reach the ghost god realm in the future. Why are you still following the second prince? Lei Zhongjuan said with a cold smile. Stubborn. Then I'll kill all of you. The three-headed ghost saint shouted and gave the order to his army. For a time, winds howled wildly, and ghost chi filled the air. The majestic formation was incomparably terrifying. Different ghost creatures charged towards the army behind Lei Zhongjuan. Lei Zhongjuan had always been as steady as Mount Tai. He looked at the million-strong army as if they were nothing in his eyes. You dare to behave atrociously in this prince's territory? You really don't know the difference between life and death. Evil thunder array, kill you! Seeing the million-strong army approaching, Lei Zhongjuan roared, and a spell formation appeared around him. Strands of lightning would acted as the eye of the formation, releasing traces of mysterious power. Suddenly, lightning filled the gloomy sky, and the dark clouds formed a pressure of Mount Tai, causing the million-strong army to panic. Rumble, rumble! The demonic lightning descended like a python, blasting towards the ghostly beings. The demonic lightning was also a type of extreme energy, but it belonged to the power of thunder and lightning. Ghost creatures that had yet to condense a physical ghost body were unable to withstand it at all. Only ghost cultivators who had condensed a physical ghost body and were extremely powerful could withstand it. All of a sudden, the millions of ghostly beings were thrown into chaos. Demonic lightning. How did they do it? Run. I can't take it. I'll be struck until my soul disperses. Ah, he's simply trying to kill us all here. How dare he do this? His Highness the Second Prince will definitely not let him off. Let's charge over quickly. Perhaps we'll still have a chance of survival. Just as the million-strong army was about to be scattered, the three ghost sages shouted, Old Five, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Next, a headless ghost floated out, and a ghost flew out, forming a canopy in the sky, blocking out the entire area. A ghost banner covered the sky. This was a ghost banner that was half a step away from being a god. It enveloped the million-strong army and blocked all the demonic lightning. Lei Zhongjuan waved his hand. Devour them! Kill! The 500,000-strong army behind him roared in unison. Many of the ghostly beings unleashed shocking attacks at the same time, landing on the million-strong army that was panicking. The two armies of the ghost clan clashed fiercely. 1/3 of the million-strong army was killed by the demonic lightning. The remaining ghostly beings were in a mess. Moreover, their general combat strength was not comparable to Lei Zhongjuan's 500,000-strong army. For a moment, Lei Zhongjuan's army had the upper hand. When two armies clashed, the brave would win. It was not so easy for Lei Zhongjuan to win this battle. The key was how to deal with the 5 peak ghost sages and dozens of ghost sages. The final victor would only be decided in the Battle of the Saint Realm. The 3 ghost sages led a wave of ghost sages to attack Lei Zhongjuan. The second prince's mission for them was to kill Lei Zhongjuan if he did not submit. Otherwise, they would not be able to return. Lei Zhongjuan was only a high-level ghost cultivator, but his combat strength was not inferior to that of a top ghost cultivator. This had been proven by other ghost sages, so they did not dare to be careless. Lei Zhongjuan also had dozens of ghost sages behind him. Although their ordinary realm was not as strong as the ghost sages led by the 3 ghost sages, they were not weak. Ghost cultivators who could withstand the demonic lightning were not weak. The 3 ghost sages wanted to kill Lei Zhongjuan, but they were blocked by a peak ghost sage beside Lei Zhongjuan. In the end, the weakest of the 5 great ghost sages, the Blood Fang ghost sage, faced Lei Zhongjuan. The most powerful thing about the Blood Fang ghost sage was his mouth. His row of bloody teeth was like a sharp weapon that could gnaw through anything hard. Lei Zhongjuan recultivated his realm and experienced 2 trips to the Saint Realm. His combat strength was very strong. He held a demonic lightning bone spear and stabbed at the Blood Fang Ghost Sage. As he waved his spear, the demonic lightning accompanied it. The Blood Fang Ghost Sage was shocked. "Wu, Prince 19, you are so powerful," the Blood Fang Ghost Sage screamed. Suddenly, he opened his mouth and formed a black hole-like power that enveloped Lei Zhongjuan. His 2 rows of front teeth were like knives. It was very scary. The power of a top ghost sage was not a joke. Lei Zhongjuan sneered. Another item appeared in his hand. It was the soul-suppressing pot that he had not used in a long time. Under his power, the soul-suppressing pot became bigger and smashed into the Blood Fang Ghost Sage's mouth like a mountain. Bang! The soul-suppressing pot had a shocking origin. It was one of the top 100 Saint weapons on the Saint weapon ranking. It was extremely hard and could suppress some souls. It was a peak Saint weapon. Several of the Blood Fang Ghost Sage's front teeth were broken. He screamed in pain. Lei Zhongjuan turned into lightning. The demonic lightning bone spear stabbed at the Blood Fang Ghost Sage like a storm. The Blood Fang Ghost Sage could not block it in time and was heavily injured. He didn't dare to be defeated just like that. Something flew out. It was a ghost seal, and it flew toward Lei Zhongjuan. Ghost seal. Many evil spirits rushed out and countless ghostly hands grabbed at Lei Zhongjuan. Once he was caught, he would not be able to escape. It was a ghost saint weapon. Lei Zhongjuan reached out and grabbed the soul-suppressing pot. He threw it toward the ghost seal. The 2 saint weapons collided. He continued to fight the Blood Fang Ghost Sage. The Blood Fang Ghost Sage was no match for Lei Zhongjuan. He hurriedly asked for help. 2 other ghost sages surrounded Lei Zhongjuan. They used their ultimate skills to besiege him. Lei Zhongjuan was worthy of being the Prince 19. He was still able to fight 3 ghost sages at ease. The soul-suppressing gourd had become his most handy weapon. It released its power and continuously devoured the chi of these ghostly beings. It even wanted to suppress their souls. In addition, his attacks were accompanied by the demonic lightning. It affected the 3 ghost sages quite a bit. Either you die or I die. Bloodfang Ghost Saint was thoroughly enraged after being unable to take down Lei Zhongjuan for a long time. He roared and unleashed his innate fighting ability. Bloodfang Boundless. Suddenly, a huge change took place in this world. A terrifying sea of blood appeared, and sharp fangs pierced out continuously, filled with destructive power. The other 2 ghost sages also went all out. Hungry Ghost swallows the sky. Phantom decays the soul. Many extremely evil attacks surrounded Lei Zhongjuan, not giving him the slightest chance to catch his breath. Lei Zhongjuan was in danger. He also used all his strength. "I'll kill all of you," Lei Zhongjuan roared. He stabbed the demonic lightning bone spear into the sky. Strands of demonic lightning were drawn down. Boom! The demonic lightning struck. The demonic lightning came very quickly. It hit the Bloodfang Ghost Sage's innate ability and blew up his mouth. Soul-suppressing song. The soul-suppressing gourd let out a strange melody. The strange rhythm fell into the soul consciousness of the ghost saints, causing their soul consciousness to become sluggish. Their attacks instantly weakened, and the melody even drew them towards the soul-suppressing gourd. Whoosh! Before the 2 ghost sages could react, they were swallowed by the soul-suppressing pot. The soul-suppressing pot was definitely the nemesis of ghosts. After Lei Zhongjuan took down the 2 ghost sages, the remaining Bloodfang Ghost Sage was no longer a threat. Under Lei Zhongjuan's crazy attacks, the Bloodfang Ghost Sage's body collapsed. His ghost soul escaped. He said with a terrified expression, "Prince 19, spare." Before he could finish, the soul-suppressing pot swept over and suppressed him. "You overestimate yourself," Lei Zhongjuan sneered. Just as he was feeling proud, a giant claw suddenly clawed at him from above. By the time he reacted, it was already half a beat too late. He retreated backwards, but his chest was still torn apart, causing him to cry out in pain. Prince 19, you're too arrogant. Do you really think we didn't prepare a surprise for you? A peak ghost sage said. It was a ghost claw. He grabbed a half-step god realm ghost claw and slashed repeatedly. The sky and earth were torn apart. Lei Zhongjuan was in trouble. His combat power was not inferior to the other party, but the other party had a half-step god realm ghost claw. The situation was one-sided. The soul-suppressing pot could not stop it, and the other party did not give him a chance to attract the demonic lightning. In a few blinks of an eye, Lei Zhongjuan's ghost body was covered in wounds. If this continued, he would be doomed. Hurry up and surrender or I'll kill you, the ghost claw said proudly. Surrender, my ass. Lei Zhongjuan had not fulfilled his wish, so he could not surrender. When his soul-suppressing pot was sent flying, he cried out, "It's over." It was also at this moment that a figure quietly appeared on the battlefield. None of the ghosts noticed it. Chapter 13:24. Evil in Thunder Region. Millions of ghost clan creatures were fighting fiercely. Countless Yin Qi surged, and a lot of ghost Qi overflowed, creating a shocking phenomenon. Many ghost clan creatures who did not participate in the battle were so scared that they hid far away. They did not dare to enter the battle area for fear of being affected. Wave after wave of ghost clan creatures died, and then some more powerful ghost clan creatures were born. The battle continued. Unless the ghost saints of both sides decided the outcome of the battle, it would not change the outcome of the battle. Lei Zhongjuan fought with his life on the line. No matter if it was the attacks of the ghost clan or the attacks that contained lightning, they were all used, but they were still unable to stop the attack of a half-step divine weapon. Woo woo, if you don't surrender, I will tear you apart alive. The fierce claw ghost laughed happily. Lei Zhongjuan had the thought of escaping, but once he escaped, the prestige that he had accumulated with great difficulty and the power that he had gathered with great difficulty would completely collapse overnight. Just as he was distracted, the ghost claw furiously clawed at his head. His body was cold and he had no strength to dodge. Just as the ghost claw was about to land on his head, a strong wind swept past and pulled him away. A voice sounded, "After so many years, you have only reached this stage. You have really disappointed me." After Lei Zhongjuan heard this voice, his body trembled. He came back to his senses and looked at the person beside him, exclaiming, You are the Lord?" Yang Wu was still wrapped in a cloud of Yin Qi, but he no longer appeared in the appearance of Lei Zhongjuan. He returned to his original appearance and walked over. After the fierce claw ghost's attack missed, he stared at Yang Wu, who suddenly appeared and shouted, "There is still a guy who dares to court death. You are really loyal. I will send you on your way." Immediately, the ghost claw fell again, grabbing at Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Wu. "Lord, leave quickly." Lei Zhongjuan still treated Yang Wu as his master. He reacted immediately and pushed Yang Wu away. He did not think that Yang Wu could block the malicious spirit claw's attack. Who knew that he would not be able to push Yang Wu away? Instead, he was pulled back by Yang Wu. Yang Wu raised his hand and caught the power of the claw, which stunned them. "Do you think you're invincible with this little bit of strength? Ignorant," Yang Wu said indifferently. He grabbed the air with his hand and crushed the power of the ghost claw. Bang! The sound of an explosion rang out and waves of Yin Qi surged out. The fierce claw ghost was also sent flying. Is this true? Lei Zhongjuan rubbed his eyes and muttered to himself. That was a half-step god-level combat weapon. Under the control of a peak ghost saint, only half-step god-level powerhouses could stop it. He found it hard to believe that Yang Wu had done it so easily. The fierce claw ghost realized how powerful Yang Wu was. It screamed and attacked crazily again. Streaks of claw energy that tore through space grabbed at Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not want to waste time here. He turned into an afterimage and dodged the fierce claw ghost's attack. He appeared beside it and slapped out a shocking palm. Mercy hand. This was an inheritance obtained from the medicine god palace. It was extremely suitable to be used in such a place full of qi. The fierce claw ghost did not even have the chance to react before it exploded. Yang Wu grabbed the half-step god-level ghost claw and threw it at Lei Zhongjuan. He said, "Clean up the mess first. I'll wait for you." After he finished speaking, he no longer paid attention to Lei Zhongjuan and quietly retreated. In his eyes, the battle of these ghost clan creatures did not have much to do with him. He came here only for Lei Zhongjuan. Lei Zhongjuan's improvement was not small, but in his opinion it was still too weak. The ghost cultivation method was the authentic ceremony of the ghost clan. Lei Zhongjuan should have been like a fish in water when cultivating here. Now, he had only reached the high-level ghost sage realm. Moreover, he was helpless in the face of a ghost sage with a half-step divine weapon. This really disappointed him. If it were someone else, they would not think so. In 7 years, he had gone from an ordinary saint level to a high-level saint level. It was really scary. Others could not reach such a height even if they spent 70 years. Lei Zhongjuan held the ghost claw and smiled bitterly. "My lord is really abnormal. In the past, he was forced to submit to Yang Wu and was not willing at all. However, in order to take revenge, he endured it. It was not until Yang Wu showed his amazing talent that he gradually adapted to his role. However, he was still not willing to be Yang Wu's servant. Especially in the past few years, he had made rapid progress. His ambition was also growing. This was also the reason why he had not come back to find Yang Wu. He was thinking that once he became the overlord of the ghost realm, it would be easy to find trouble with his enemies. There was no need to rely on Yang Wu's power. However, when Yang Wu appeared again, the fighting strength that Yang Wu displayed was so amazing that his last bit of fantasy was extinguished. In 7 years, Yang Wu had grown to this level. If he was given 10 times more time, he would probably become one of the overlords of the transcendent being world. Lei Zhongjuan composed himself and once again joined the battle with the ghost claw and the soul-suppressing pot. This time, he used all his strength. He had to show enough strength to Yang Wu. He had not been negligent in the past few years. The ghost claw kept falling, and some ghost sages were torn apart. The soul-suppressing pot swept past, and some ghosts were suppressed and absorbed. The evil lightning bone dagger axe stabbed out again and again, breaking through the defense of one ghost sage after another. Lei Zhongjuan was completely out of control. He had never fought to his heart's content like this. He attacked without any scruples. He was no longer afraid of the ghosts and gods in this world. Because his master was here, he had a backbone. He did not know when, but Yang Wu's shadow in his heart grew bigger and bigger, occupying a dominant position in his heart. This also meant that he was completely loyal to Yang Wu. Yang Wu watched Lei Zhongjuan kill in all directions and secretly nodded. After breaking the shackles, his fighting strength has exploded. It seems that he has been suppressed for the past few years. More and more ghosts scattered between heaven and earth, and Yang Wu absorbed all of them. Under the purification of the black demon Thunder Orb, these souls continued to strengthen his soul fetus. His soul became more and more powerful, and he gradually touched the bottleneck of the heavenly soul stage. Once he broke through this bottleneck, his soul fetus would undergo a new round of transformation. But it was easier said than done to break through this step. Following Lei Zhongjuan's display of invincibility, the enemy's ghost saints fell one after another, and the morale of their army finally collapsed. Prince 19 is too strong. We are no match for him. Run. We shouldn't have offended Prince 19. The second prince has made a great enemy for himself. Even if I die, I don't want to be the last. I will not lose face for the second prince. Losing face is better than losing your life. Run, run. If you stay, you will only be courting death. More than half of the 1,000,000 soldiers were killed or injured, and they fled the evil Thunder territory in dejection. Lei Zhongjuan's army also suffered heavy losses, but they won, and these losses were nothing. Lei Zhongjuan's army continued to pursue. After devouring the ghosts of the enemy, they could become stronger. War was always the process of the ghost race becoming stronger. After calming down, Lei Zhongjuan landed in front of Yang Wu, knelt on one knee and kowtowed. Lei Zhongjuan greets the Lord. Well, I thought you didn't remember me, your lord, Yang Wu said with his hands behind his back, facing Lei Zhongjuan. He didn't let Lei Zhongjuan stand up, and he was still angry in his heart. He passed the ghost cultivation arts to Lei Zhongjuan, so that he had a chance to live. Even if he became a ghost cultivator, it was much better than him dying. The other party was also doing well in the ghost realm, but he forgot about him, his lord. It was impossible for him not to be angry. However, he didn't completely pass the ghost cultivation arts to Lei Zhongjuan. He only passed on 2/3 of it. This was also a precaution against Lei Zhongjuan. Lei Zhongjuan lowered his head deeply and said, Zhongjuan has failed to live up to the Lord's love. He couldn't defend himself. In fact, he already had the thought of leaving Yang Wu aside. Now, this thought had disappeared without a trace. This is not a place to talk. Let's find a place where we can talk, Yang Wu said lightly. Follow me, Lord, Lei Zhongjuan said, and brought Yang Wu towards his cave residence. Lei Zhongjuan's cave residence was located on the highest mountain of the evil Yin Thunder Mountain. From time to time, there would be Yin Thunder descending. It wasn't a place that any ghost cultivator dared to stay. Lei Zhongjuan used the Yin Thunder to temper his ghost body, which helped him to fight against a top-level ghost saint. After Yang Wu saw this mountain, he felt the different Yin Thunder. A trace of interest appeared on his face. This place is really not bad. Lord, if you like, you can stay for a while, Lei Zhongjuan said fawningly. I don't have that kind of interest. Yang Wu shook his head lightly and said. They entered a spacious cave residence. Waves of Yin Qi filled the air. At the same time, there were traces of lightning energy swimming around the walls of the residence. The Yin Qi was abundant, and there was also a lot of lightning energy. It was a rare cultivation residence. The interior of the residence was quite well decorated. There were jade beds to sleep on, jade chairs, jade tables, and a Yin pond. There were even some sacred Yin items planted in it. Lei Zhongjuan said somewhat proudly, This is the place where I was conferred the title of emperor. Only then can I live in such a luxurious place. Other ghost cultivators don't have this kind of treatment. I can see that, Yang Wu calmly replied. Lei Zhongjuan sensed Yang Wu's unhappiness. He quickly knelt down again and said, Lord, please give me another chance. I will definitely not have any second thoughts. You also know that you have second thoughts. To think that I came all the way to find you. I was afraid that you had already died in the ghost domain, so I rushed over to collect your corpse. Yang Wu coldly snorted. I'm sorry, Lord. I was too pleased with myself for a moment. I, Lei Zhongjuan, swear that from today onwards, I will be loyal to Lord. I will definitely not have second thoughts. Otherwise, I will be struck to death by 5 bolts of lightning and will never be reincarnated. All right, what's the point of these vows? I just want to ask you if you still want revenge? If you have already forgotten about your hatred, I will leave immediately and let you continue to stay here and call yourself emperor. This irreconcilable hatred must be avenged.